Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, and streaming, and all sorts of good things. I'm joined today by the one and the only writer, director, producer, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, how you doing today?
John, I have to say that I love the John Campea crew in the mornings. I don't think I have as much fun. Before this show starts, our viewers will never know how much joy it brings me to sit in this room with all of you lovely folks.
Aww. And bringing joy to you in the live chat today, sitting over here is Ray Ora. Ray, how you doing?
Hey, good morning.
You know, somebody pointed out, we were talking yesterday, which film that's in theaters right now do we prefer? Spider-Man or The Dark Knight? And somebody wrote in his friend, he's got like 3 Spider-Men on his microphone. Of course he's going to say Spider-Man, which was actually true. And sitting right beside him, it's Chris Carr is here. Chris, how you doing?
I'm great. Happy International Women's Day.
That's right. We were talking about that beforehand. Mm-hmm. Today's International Women's Day. What was the fact you were pointing out to me that was gruesomely
so
poetic?
Right? It usually falls on daylight savings. So daylight savings happens and cuts an hour away from International Women's Day, typically. But not this year. Not this year.
Not today.
More time to celebrate it proper.
I'm down with women. They're just not down with me.
Yeah, they are, Chef Pleasures.
You've got surprises.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us here today and being part of our crew. Here's how today's show is going to go. In the first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show...
What? I'm just the truth right here. This is the truth. What? There's no lies that come out of my mouth.
Come on, we've got a show to do here.
All right.
Keep it together, people.
Here.
Let's go.
So, and then in the second, what was I? Oh yeah, in the first half of the show, we're going to take some predetermined topics. Then on the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you're watching live, and only if you're watching live, you can use the super chat feature and send in a comment or question. We will read those off when we get to the end of the main topics. Of course, guys, also remember that if you're watching this video any of the other 22 hours during the day and you want to send in a comment or question for me or Rob, 3 times a week we do a show called Mailbag. You can send in a question or comment that we will address on Mailbag by just going down into the description of this video and you'll see a tip link. Click on that there, or enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll get me your comment or question right on Mailbag if we deem your comment or question appropriate for our show. And of course, you'll be supporting our channel at the same time. And all of us involved with the John Campea Show, thank you so very much for your support. All right, guys. Also, a little bit of house cleaning. Don't forget, if you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube video, maybe you're jogging or at the gym or you're at work, good news. There is the audio-only version of the show that you can go and get on your favorite podcasting app of choice. Just search for the John Campea Show podcast and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it. Also, we've got a brand new podcast feed for our new show, Movie Club, that we've been loving doing. We've already done ones for Raiders of the Lost Ark, Batman Begins, Iron Man, Gladiator. And guys, today at 4 p.m. Los Angeles time, we will be doing our newest meeting of Movie Club. We hope you'll come and join us to commemorate the opening of the Batman. We are going to be doing The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's what some people consider to be the greatest comic book film of all time. We're going to be talking about The Dark Knight today, 4 p.m. in our meeting of Movie Club. Make sure you guys come on back and join us for that. All right, guys. With all that down and out of the way, let's start off with an off the top here, shall we? And that off the top is this. You know, there has been talk surrounding the Batman for a couple years now, not just for the movie itself, but it was almost 2 years ago that they announced that this upcoming Batman movie with Robert Pattinson was also going to be having a sort of prequel HBO Max series based on the Gotham Police Department called Gotham PD. And our understanding of Gotham PD was that it was about a dirty cop who's like battling for his soul, and he's trying to find his way back, and he becomes inspired and reawakened by the activities of a new vigilante in town known as the Batman. And the show is going to focus on this dirty cop trying to go clean, all this kind of stuff, whatever. Now, in recent days, there's been talk that there are 2 Batman spin-off series coming to HBO Max. One is Penguin, starring Colin Farrell, which now I am dying for. Like, I was interested in it before seeing the Batman. After watching him in the Batman, I'm like, officially dying for this movie. Cannot wait. But then the other one they started talking about was one centered around Arkham Asylum, to which a lot of people wrote in and said, well, wait a minute. What happened to Gotham PD? Well, now we know what happened to Gotham PD. Matt Reeves has confirmed that they are no longer moving forward with the Gotham PD series. This comes to us from the folks over at Deadline who write the following. The Batman, let me see if I can get this a little larger for you guys. The Batman director, Matt Reeves, has duly confirmed that the movie prequel series on HBO Max, which centered on a corrupt cop, is not moving forward. Reeves already indicated on that's Deadline's Hero Nation podcast, that he had conversation with HBO Max execs to steer his Batman spin-off series towards one of the more established characters in the DC canon versus an original one. Reeves' initial HBO Max The Batman series was announced in July of 2020, taking inspirations from the movie Prince of the City, centering on a cop who is battling for his soul. He is then reawakened by a rising Gotham vigilante, that being the Batman, so on and so forth. So now instead, they it looks like, steered the whole thing away from that concept into something that's going to be centered around Arkham Asylum. No spoilers, but in the Batman movie, Arkham Asylum has a presence. I mean, woo! Big newsflash there. Arkham Asylum has a presence, so it's going to be going that way. Look, I'll tell you what. We never really got any development of this Gotham PD show, so I don't have anything emotionally invested in it, but I will say the concept of it sounded interesting to me, but I don't want 3 spin-off shows of the Batman going. Let's get the Penguin out. Let's get this Arkham Asylum thing out. Rob, you hear about this? What do you think about the fact that they're dropping this Gotham PD one and they seem to be moving towards this other one?
Well, I think, look, that's an interesting take. I mean, doing a story about a bent cop who is inspired by the Batman to do good, I think could be an interesting story to tell, but is that a show? And I think that what happens with a lot of programs when they're developing them is through the development process, they realize they just don't have enough story to turn into a series. And ideas sound good when you first pitch them, but in practice, it's a lot harder to come up with a compelling story, especially on an HBO Max. As we've always talked about, I mean, when they're doing something, they do a cop show, it's True Detective. You know, in the first season, that show was a knockout. And unless they can do that, I don't think they're going to move forward. And now having a movie star in Colin Farrell and being able to do the Penguin and coming off of what we all thought was a very successful portrayal of the character, I think they probably have a better handle on Penguin. So it makes sense. And an Arkham Asylum show just seems more like a natural to me than doing a cop show. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you ask any Batman fan, what would you rather see a show about? Gotham City PD officer or Arkham Asylum? I think we all know the answer.
But I'll tell you what, I like the see, this is why the Fox show Gotham, which ultimately at the end of the day was kind of hit and miss and didn't really work for me, but I was so intrigued by that because when you understand what Gotham is supposed to be, I mean, the idea of a show in Gotham from the police's point of view in trying to deal with that city and trying to do all kinds of stuff in the midst of a Batman running around as well. That concept fascinated me like a lot.
Yeah.
And Gotham didn't really deliver. I was kind of hoping maybe Gotham PD could. But I agree with you. I think I'm a little bit more taken with the idea about what you could possibly, because we talked about that anthology idea with Arkham. That could be interesting as well.
Well, they did say Prince of the City, which is a phenomenal. If you haven't seen Prince of the City, it stars Treat Williams. It's an amazing movie. And that as a reference point, it's a really great idea. But I think when you're doing it in Gotham, everybody steers back to you have to have the villains, the cops, and then you're stuck. You're locked into and then everybody wants to see the villains that you already know, and how are you going to bring them all in? And they did. Gotham ran into that same issue.
It feels like it'd be a redundant show because you'd be going off to do something else. Your focus would have to go back to those villains. Or it would feel like, hey, let's try to do Gotham, but better this time maybe. Or let's try to examine the inner workings of the Crows like Batwoman has tried to do, but not done particularly successfully. the rogues gallery of Batman is what's always the more interesting, because
Right.
the best Batman stories are where Batman's the antagonist. That's where Batman really shines, when he is getting in the way of somebody else's journey and plans. That's when things get really, really great.
I still
like that.
There's one part of me though. You know where Gotham? Again, when I say Gotham, I'm talking about the Fox TV show.
Yeah.
Where Gotham fell apart for me. Let me back that up. When Gotham worked for me was when it wasn't about Batman. Like Gotham as a show worked for me when it was about this whatever Lieutenant Gordon or whatever rank he was trying to fight the criminal element in the city and blah blah. When it was that and going against the mob, that's when that show for me was firing on all cylinders. When that show started to feel weak to me was when they made it Batman Jr.
Exactly.
It's a Batman. When they made it a Batman show without Batman, it's like, oh, look, guys, here's everybody you know from Batman, but there's no Batman. Well, people are wanting the Batman. Well, let's get the little kid put on a mask and start jumping around buildings. That's when it fell apart. And the one thing for me that I would be worried about an Arkham series, just a little concern, is that instead of being its own show with its own life, it just becomes a Batman show.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, but maybe they'll have a great idea for it and they'll make it sing.
Hopefully.
Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? They have now, it's official. Matt Reeves has announced that, yes, we have steered away from what we were going to do with Gotham PD, and now we are doing Arkham, and there's a lot of very cool possibilities you could do with Arkham. Do you like that? Do you not? Do you think maybe it'll resurface at some point? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's get into our main topics here today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics here on the John Campea Show? Well, it's really rather simple. You see, you guys come up with them. Whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic, it doesn't say who it's from, but they wanted to know, have you guys seen the trailer for the new HBO Max series, DMZ? It's an Ava DuVernay project from the DC comic DMZ. It stars Rosario Dawson and Benjamin Bratt in a 4-episode miniseries. It seems to have a ton of action and an interesting plot, with Rosario looking for her son in the demilitarized zone between the Free State of America and the United States of America. It starts March 17th. Anything with Rosario Dawson instantly piques my interest. Have you seen the trailer? And if so, what do you think? As always, bring on the filthy.
Well, mystery writer, I can tell you 100%, 100% I am with you on the idea that anything with Rosario Dawson will absolutely get my attention. I mean, I was already familiar with her. You guys have heard me say this, but where I fell in love with Rosario Dawson and where I think she became the ultimate geek boy fantasy potential partner was in Clerks 2. Her character in Clerks 2 was cool and funny and sharp and witty and totally like up to speed on all the stuff. And like she's just in Clerks 2, she's like the ultimate dream girl as far as I'm concerned. I think for a lot of geek boys, and I have loved her ever since. Like throughout her career, she's fantastic. Damn it, she even made me like Ahsoka Tano. How on earth did she do that? I don't know, but she did it. So we found out a while ago that basic Academy Award caliber director Ava DuVernay, remember she was going to do New Gods for a long time? What I always say, I said, that movie's not going to happen. And it never did. But who knows? It might get revisited at some point. But Ava DuVernay, we knew she was going to be doing this DMZ project. Now, the story of DMZ is actually really interesting and uncomfortably realistic. Because maybe when this thing first came out, like 2008, 2005, something like that, it might have seemed like some kind of fantasy film that America would go through a second civil war and all this kind of stuff. Today doesn't seem so far-fetched. But at any rate, so you've got this basic second American Civil War, and I think it's the island of Manhattan becomes like a demilitarized zone between the two warring factions of the Free States and the United States. And Rosario Dawson, like the person who wrote in, has to go into the demilitarized zone to try to find her son. And action and insanity ensue. And the trailer for it dropped today. And I gotta say, I thought the trailer was bonkers good. I thought it was absolutely bonkers good. It had a little bit of the best elements of Walking Dead combined with a little bit of Alias for me. Well, I mean, I loved Alias. So it felt like a little bit of a mixture of those two. And listen, I actually have a real secret soft spot for Benjamin Bratt. I actually think he's great. It doesn't matter if he's in this or Miss Congeniality. Doesn't matter. I just like
Blood in,
dude.
blood out.
Blood in, blood out, baby.
Yeah.
I just like the dude a lot. At any rate, I thought the trailer was fantastic. Chris, you had a chance to take a look at it. What did you think?
Oh my gosh, looks amazing. And I've never read this comic, so I'm really excited about that too. I'm going to go pick that up, see what that's all about, then come to the show, which will be great. Rosario Dawson is an incredible actress. She makes everything better. Josie and the Pussycats, come on.
By the way, that
Like-
movie is way better than anybody gives it credit for.
Exactly. It's so fun.
No, it's not.
And
Yes, it
funny.
is.
It's so good. Come on
Oh my
now.
gosh, John, all your taste is in your mouth. Come on.
Speaking of
Josie and the
International Women's
Pussycats,
Day,
so fun.
there's
So
a great
fun.
song in that movie.
Ah, so good. But I love this. I love Benjamin Bratt so much. My mom has a really big crush on him, which I think
He's
is really
great.
cute.
And by the way, that scene in the trailer where he like pulls the thing off, I'm like, damn, he's been like lifting.
Right?
He's been lifting hard.
He's getting it.
Maybe he got
Yeah.
in shape for his little appearance in Doctor Strange and maybe thought he was going to
And
get
just
to
ran
throw
with
down
it.
or something. Damn, he looked good.
He looks great. This looks really, really interesting. And I'm enticed by the mini-series aspect of it. We're condensing it into these 4 episodes. We've got to do a lot of world building in there. And it is a very plausible world that they're building. So I'm going to be intrigued and terrified and taking notes while I'm watching it.
Rob, you had a chance to check out this trailer. I mean, listen, I knew a little bit about it because when they first announced it, I didn't read the whole thing, but I picked up some stuff, started reading through it a little bit. You see this trailer. What did you think of it?
Well, the comic's really good, and I was curious about what they were going to do. I love that Ava DuVernay, I didn't dig Wrinkle in Time, but like her documentary, 13th or 13 about the 13th
The
Amendment.
13 or something.
It
like
was
that.
really, really,
Yes.
really good.
On
and,
Netflix.
And I think that she's a very talented filmmaker. Plus, I kind of have a crush on her, truth be told. So I wanted this to be good. And it looks terrific. It looks like it's also got Escape from New York vibes in it. And so,
absolutely.
I was like, too bad Isaac Hayes isn't around to be the Duke of New York, but what can you do? I thought it was great, man. I can't wait to see it. And it wasn't something, I mean, I knew they were making it, but it was kind of one of those lower tiered things. Like it's not A-list comic book adaptation. It's kind of interesting that they did it. But after seeing the trailer, I'm all in. It looks great.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, too.
Got a little bit of a Warriors vibe to it.
Yeah, and that one shot we just had up there kind of looks a little bit like a little I Am Legendish a little bit there.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
But like Ava DuVernay, that's the main. Well, no, that's a lie. Rosario Dawson is my main draw to this. My second main draw to this is Ava DuVernay. Like, for those of you who have not seen Selma, it's remarkable.
It's incredible.
And what she was able to do with those characters and bring that to life in a powerful, devastating, profound kind of way is incredible. Now, and then you mentioned the 13, and I keep forgetting the actual name of the series, the 13. Anyway,
I think it's just called 13 or
Thought so.
13th.
Anyway.
Double check.
and got a lot of awards consideration. And look, everybody wants to point at Wrinkle in Time when it comes to Ava DuVernay. But and I didn't like Wrinkle in Time. Like I remember I walked out after the movie, I was at the premiere, and after the movie was done, I walked out, I'm like, and I ran into John Schnepp and Holly, and they were outside waiting, and I'm like, that was not all that great. But here's the thing. You got to remember that A Wrinkle in Time for a long time was considered to be absolutely unfilmable.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a story that was considered, you can't make that. So while I did not like the movie, I thought she made that as watchable as you probably could.
Absolutely. It was incredibly
good point.
ambitious of
Yeah,
her.
I think she did. I think she did a good job. I think a lot of people would have made that movie completely unwatchable if they had tried to make it. But so I'm still quite impressed with her as a filmmaker. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What did you think about this DMZ trailer? I liked it a lot. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it now. How do you feel about it? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a minute and thank a sponsor of today's video, Viore. Now, you know, Ann and I like to work out and train several days a week, but the thing is I want to be comfortable and not look like a slob at the same time, and I often have a hard time finding something that does both. But Viore, everything is designed to work out in, but it doesn't look or feel like it's made to be worked out in. It is so comfortable, you will want to wear this stuff all the time. Now, you guys know I like some flexibility and versatility in the clothes that I wear, but that's where Viore comes in. See, it can be used for just about any activity like running, training, swimming, yoga, but it's also great just for lounging around or going out on the weekends in. For example, take the men's core shorts. These are the most comfortable and one of the best looking pairs of shorts that you can own, and they're versatile. One pair of shorts for just about every sport that you can play. Or take the men's Sunday performance jogger. These pants are perfect for lounging around in or going out for a good run. Viore is an investment in your happiness. For our viewers, they are offering 20% off your very first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viore.com/Campea. That's VUORI.com/Campea. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to viore.com/Campea and discover the versatility of Viore clothing. And a big thank you to the folks at Viore for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
Before we get to topic 2, topic 1's mystery writer was Kylo Ken. So thank you, Kylo Ken, for writing that in. Topic number 2 comes from Clark Washington. Among the many achievements the Batman accomplished this past weekend was that it became only the second movie to make $100 million opening weekend since theaters reopened. Looking ahead to the remaining films in 2022, how many $100 million openings could we be looking at? Thanks for taking my question.
All right, thanks for saying that in. And yes, so the Batman comes out, other than Spider-Man, the biggest opening weekend since 2019, and only the second film to open to over $100 million. Venom 2 got close, made 90, but the Batman really the only film in 2022 to do it so far, and we're already in March. The question now becomes, with where things are at right now, what other films could possibly get to that achievement? What other films coming out for the rest of the year could hit that mark? I don't know that there are.
Come on.
I think there are a couple. I don't think there are a lot. So what I thought we would do here is let's start going through a list of films. Let's go through a list of movies here and see what we think has a potential of being a $100 million opening weekend. Again, pre-pandemic, it's not, I mean, still opening to $100 million even pre-pandemic was amazing, but not terribly uncommon. It's a little bit different right now. So let's go through some of these films here and see what we think has a chance. We'll start with the films opening in March. And obviously we've got the Batman, so that's already done it. All right. So let's go around here. Obviously, the Adam Project won't nor will Turning Red, because these are going to be digital displays. But we do have one movie coming out that I'm actually getting more and more excited for, and that's The Lost City. Channing Tatum and Speed Girl, Sandra Bullock, Speed Girl,
and Brad Pitt,
with at least
Daniel
a cameo,
Radcliffe,
of which I think he looks great. All right, I'm going to say 3% chance. Very, very unlikely. I will say 3% chance this thing opens to 100. Rob?
0% chance.
So 0.
Ooh. I'm not going to say 0, but under 3 feels right. This looks really cute, though.
It looks really good. I'm excited to see it.
I just don't want to be a dick. It looks really nice, though.
It looks funny. Look, you asked about $100 million.
That's true.
It ain't going to make that. I don't think that the movie doesn't look good. It actually, the trailer cracks me up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, I will give it at least a glimmer of hope at 3%. But
yeah, it's Romancing the Stone 2022.
What do you think about this one making $100 million?
$100 million, and the
opening weekend.
And the only movies that have done it is No Way Home and The Batman.
Yeah,
0%.
All right, so we're going to stick for 0 on that. All right, let's get back over here. Then we got opening up Morbius. This is interesting. I think the trailers for Morbius have looked great. However, they have not followed up well with their marketing. I feel like they failed to. Now, I understand you don't want to get your marketing drowned out by the Batman. You don't want your marketing to get drowned out by the Doctor Strange 2, but you've got to put up a fight. And I have not felt like they have capitalized on the post-Spider-Man momentum that they could have had. So I'm still very much looking forward to this movie. I think it will do well, but I don't think it's going to hit 100 million opening weekend. So I will give it a 18% chance that Morbius hits 100 million. Rob?
10.
10. You're going to go as high as 10%?
10%.
5.
You're going to go 5. Ray, what do you think? Morbius, $100 million.
I'm with Chris. 5.
5%. So it's a comic book film, whatever. It's got a chance, but all
I'm
of us
surprised that
saying
they
pretty
haven't
low.
mentioned that Morbius is in the Marvel Universe, could interact with Spider-Man. The general audience has no idea. They
Well, you
think
don't want to lie, but they do have Spider-Man on the wall in one shot.
Yeah.
He says Venom.
But they're not doing a very good job of tying it all in. It just looks like a horror film. And for those general audience members who don't know, it's like, ooh, that looks cool, but
I mean, again, they just the marketing disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put out a couple of great trailers, a really good clip. That clip was awesome. But they haven't followed up with it, and it's opening in just a couple of weeks
there
now.
might be a reason for that.
I don't know. Look, we've seen you can make a decent marketing company can make the worst movie in the world look awesome. So I don't buy that. Like that marketing company can make any movie look incredible.
Well, what I mean is the fact that they're no longer really. Where are the TV spots? Where are
Where are the TV spots? Where's I just don't see it.
That's what I mean. It's not that they're it's like there's no marketing. It's all of a sudden they're like, well, we did what we could. Let's not throw good money after bad. I hope that's not the case.
They just can't keep polishing this turd.
Yeah,
See, and I've seen it be the other way. I've seen it be the other way. Where it's like, man, this movie isn't good, so we can't count on opening. We can't count on long-term legs. So we got to make as much money as possible opening weekend. Throw everything we can at
I
the
hope
marketing.
it's great because it looks great.
It looks great. I hope it's great too. We'll find out. But again, I'm going to be at the highest here. But even my highest is 18%. It has a chance at that. All right. Next up, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. 5%. I'm going to say 5%. I surprisingly like the first one. And I think there's going to be some good follow-up to it. I'm going to go, no, let me change it. I'm going to go 10%. 10% Sonic can make 100 million opening weekend. Rob, what about you?
I'm with you. I mean, look, there's a lot of love for this franchise. So I could see maybe this surprising all of us. But on the other hand, with everything going on in the world, I can't see people rushing out the same way they rushed out to see Spider-Man, the Batman, to see Sonic. But you never know.
So what percentage you giving it?
I'm giving it like you, 10.
10. You know what? I might have to adjust that up a little bit. I'm going to go as high as 15 because it made almost 60. The first one made almost 60. Mm-hmm. And then people kind of fell in love with it. Screw it. I'm going to go 20. I'm going to go 20. 1 out of 5 chance. 1 out of 5 chance.
All right.
Chris, what do you think?
20 was going to be my number. People love this. They were so surprised by it. Do not doubt how many parents are going to run to a theater that they can see something with their kid.
That they played when they were kids.
Exactly. You've got the nostalgia factor. You've got something that's appropriate
True.
for kids. You've got Ben Schwartz, Idris Elba. Come on. Oh.
Ray, what do you think? Sonic making 100 million opening weekend.
Hold on. I got to change my Morbius to 1%, and Sonic is now 5%. I actually think Sonic is going to make more opening weekend than Morbius.
Absolutely.
It might.
I
so.
think you
It might-
More
might be right
recognizable
about that.
IP.
I mean, it's got the family. It's got the nostalgia. The first one is coming off of a very, I'm not going to say really super good first one, but an enjoyable, entertaining first one. It's got a
And
lot
people
going
like
for it.
It's like the Terminator 2 effect. People who watch Terminator on home video and cable forever. This movie has that love that's
Yeah, I
developed
think we're going to
over
see some
time.
upward momentum.
And it actually has an arch rival now, like
Right.
Knuckles. So it's one on, like, yeah. It's good.
Everything
We
about
got
it looks
chaos
pretty good.
gems in there. It's going to be so good.
All right, let's keep going here. So after Sonic, we've got Ambulance with the LA in Ambulance is a different color.
So cool.
I am the only person I know that does not think these trailers look very good.
It looks like an SNL spoof.
Yes, when the trailer plays like, oh, this is a fake trailer. This is actually going to be a men's razor commercial or something like that. And there's, oh no, wait, this is actually a real trailer. It does not work for me. Michael Bay, I like Michael Bay more than most people do, but not a lot of people love Michael Bay. I was really let down by his Six Underground, even though he had my favorite movie star in the world, Ryan Reynolds, in it. I was pretty let down by that movie. I don't, but at the same time, I know a lot of people who think these trailers look great. 10%. 10% makes 100 million. What do you think?
I
Bob?
gotta say, I'm kind of excited to see Ambulance. To be honest, I want a good. I'm looking for this. This is something I need in my life. I think it has 0% chance of making $100 million.
Chris?
Yeah, like a 2 to 3%. I like explosions as much as the next person, and I love that Michael Bay's sets are made of balsa wood and sparklers. but this just looks comically bad. Maybe it'll be fun though.
I mean, look, you got Jonathan Majors in there. Is that no?
Black Mantis.
Dr. Manhattan.
So you got Black Mantis. You got Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, you got a good
Cast is great, but the look, it just looks absurd. Like these guys, they commit a heist and they steal an ambulance to get away. Anyone who knows anything about driving in Los Angeles, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But most people don't.
I know, but if you're downtown, I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, it's like watching 24 again. Like there's no way in real time in 10 minutes you can get from downtown LA to someplace in the valley.
Absolutely not. And everyone's so annoyed with ambulances here too. We're like, oh my God, an emergency? Fuck you.
I mean, I understand it's all around the LA River too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that's all open space all the time.
Absolutely.
It's like, come on, man.
All right, let's look at the next one here. The Bad Guys, which I got my first look at CinemaCon, as I did with Ambulance as well. Interesting looking little premise. I was not impressed by what I saw at CinemaCon. I finally got around to watching the trailer for it that they put out. You know, it's a cute trailer.
I liked it.
I don't think it has any chance of making 100 million over
Nope.
the weekend, though. This is gonna be my first one that I give a goose egg. What about you guys, Rob?
I'll go with you 0.
Yeah, 0 chance. Ray?
I'll go 1%. I'm not giving anything 0.
You know, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't say 0 because never underestimate a family film.
Exactly.
But I'm going to stick with the 0. What about you, Chris?
I'll go with that 1%, right?
That
Hope
doesn't
springs
mean we're saying the
eternal.
movie's
Yeah, let's go
0,
1%.
though.
But-
Yeah, we're not saying the movie's bad.
The movie's
I
bad.
don't think it
100,
has any chance of
yeah.
making 100 million opening.
It looks precious.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to see this.
I'm
but-
certainly more excited, more interested in than I was before.
Yeah.
That's for sure. All right, then we move on to what is now that the Batman is done, my most anticipated film of the year, The Northman. This looks bonkers, coming from Eggers, who's like one of the most interesting filmmakers working in the business today. Like The Lighthouse, I still don't know what the fuck I watched.
Didn't you and I see that together?
I don't think so.
You didn't sit
I
together?
don't think so. I still don't know what the hell I watched in that movie, but my God, it was fascinating.
I loved it.
And then the Witch
Yeah,
was so good.
so good.
And then again at CinemaCon, they gave us a really great preview of this movie. Like they showed us about 10 minutes, and like my jaw was on the floor, and I got a thing for Vikings. So I mean, the cast is absolutely fantastic. So after Batman, this is my most anticipated film of the year. 3% that it makes. This isn't going to have huge wide appeal. So at most, I'm going to give it a 3% chance. Rob?
I don't think I'm with you. I don't think they even isn't it from like A24 or something? I don't think they even have the firepower to open this movie on enough screens where it could even have a shot at making $100 million. So I'd go even with you or less than you said, because I think again,
They are putting money into it, because listen to this cast. Alexander Skarsgård, who's super hot right now. Anya Taylor-Joy, who is super hot right now. Nicole Kidman, because even
already in
heartbreak
AMC
feels good in a
theaters.
place like this. Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe. I mean, this is Bjork. Bjork's in this movie.
Oh,
I mean,
that's actually really exciting to me.
I'd still make it
Friggin' love
3%.
Bjork.
I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I mean, yeah, probably around 3%. I'm going to probably have to see this movie multiple times because Logan's also obsessed with Vikings.
yeah.
This is
All
not
right,
my
no.
kind of movie, but
No, this is like 2% with movies like this. I usually don't go back, even if it's a good movie. It's just I usually just don't go back to watch it a second time. Only wait for it for release.
But a second time doesn't matter. Will enough people see it a first time and get
That's
100
very
million on
true.
opening
No.
weekend?
Well, I'm
That's not-
wondering too, though, because it seems like they're going to go for a prestige push with this. If
Yeah.
we do get more butts in theaters, though, just because of that.
Yeah,
You
again,
could
it's going to
have
be rated
100
R and.
You know?
if you had a $200 million marketing budget, this movie would never make $100 million. Not
right.
that it doesn't deserve
the
to.
poster is great.
The poster's
I really
great.
like it. It shows
Yep.
how do you say that?
environment?
No, just so shows how big of scale of awards.
Oh yeah, yeah. It looks great. I love it. Okay, next up we've got Legally Blonde 3.
Yes.
I love this franchise.
Even blonder.
Legally Blonde
Hey, listen,
is awesome.
I enjoyed the first Legally Blonde.
It's so quotable.
It's very quotable. It's got a Mean Girls kind of feel element to it. I was not a big fan of Legally Blonde 2, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
But she's back and blonder. No chance. I don't think this thing makes 20 million opening weekend. So I'm going to hand out my second goose egg on this, and I'm going to say 0% chance that Legally Blonde 3 gets $100 million. Chris?
I'm going to go with 10%. And this is mostly because when they showed the first Legally Blonde at Cinespia, everyone lost their friggin' minds. And it was packed in that cemetery.
Like Mean Girls, it does have a very
It has that cult
passionate
kind of following.
Yeah.
We all still talk about how people with endorphins don't kill their husbands. They just don't.
But a very passionate following, but is it a big following?
That's
And
fair.
I'm not sure about that. Rob?
No, it's not big enough. Look, this is not the kind of movie, and people love this franchise. I love the first Legally Blonde. I think it's a terrific comedy. I really enjoyed the cast, and Jennifer Coolidge is in this one, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
everyone's going to be doing their impressions again of her talking about hot dogs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But it's never going to make $100 million opening weekend. Never.
All right. Now we move on to what is probably going to be the first one that legitimately has a shot. We're talking about Doctor Strange 2, opening on May 6th. Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, Benedict Wong, Rachel McAdams, Chiwetel Ejiofor. That last trailer came out, and people lost their minds. Absolutely lost their minds. Building on the momentum of Spider-Man No Way Home, and prior to that, WandaVision, which was a show that week after week after week, its audiences grew and grew and grew, became the number one show in the world, all that kind of stuff. Got a lot of momentum going behind it. Now, I'm still going to tell you, this is not 100%. This is not 100% that this thing makes $100 million. I'm going to give it, though, pretty damn high. I'm going to give it 85%. So 85% it makes $100 million. Just for context, the first Doctor Strange made 86 for context. So you know what? I'll match that. I'll say 86%. 86% that this thing makes $100 million. So I am anticipating this will clear the $100 million mark. I think it will I think it actually has a pretty decent chance of exceeding what the Batman made opening weekend. It's not going to hit Spider-Man numbers. But I think it's going to go over that. So I'm going to set the bar conservatively at 86%. Rob, what about you?
100%.
You're going to go 100. So there's zero chance that this does make 100.
100% opening weekend. 100% that this is going to make $100 million opening weekend. 100%.
What do you think, Chris?
99.9999999.
So pretty high on that,
Yeah.
Ray?
Yeah, 101%.
101.
101. There's no there. Come on. Come on.
I mean, coming off of this is essentially a sequel to Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, in a way,
You're dealing
yeah.
with the ramifications, apparently, of what happened. And it's not like he cast another spell and
Yeah.
changed reality.
And so many people, too, who aren't big MCU comic book people, who I know, too, were so invested in WandaVision because they thought that was such
Yeah.
a great character study that they are just chomping at the bit to get more Wanda stories. So I think that's going to play out. All the people who love the other franchises from before, your X-Men fans, other people are hoping to see other stuff get mixed in here, too. It's a multiverse of madness.
But here's why I'm not going to say, obviously at 86, I'm saying it's going to make 100 million. But the one thing I would caution is this. Whereas all the marketing for Spider-Man was, woo, ba, 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 it's Spider-Man, he's swinging around, and there's some faces we recognize. The trailer for Doctor Strange in Madness, while for us in our bubble, as you guys at home are in this bubble with us, it's like, whoa, it's all the crazy stuff. That's not going to have the same appeal to the average movie-going audience that, say, the Spider-Man trailers did. I think the Spider-Man trailers are far more appealing to the general movie-going audience, because seeing a giant tentacled, one-eyed monster in the street, that's not going to appeal to my mom. My mom loves the Spider-Man trailers, but seeing that and then just a lot of reality shattering, whatever, I don't think it's going to be as appealing to the general movie-going audience as, say, Spider-Man is. But I'm still saying it's going to make 100
Your
million.
mom's not into hentai?
I'm telling you, there's a lot of places around here that just is not doing the mass thing anymore. it's going to be around the time maybe everyone who was scared of going to the theaters start going.
Well, see, that's another thing, right? Like, we just went for our Batman screening that we just did with the fan screen. That was the first day in LA that they had lifted the mask requirements in theaters. So I don't know, for some people that might deter them from going, but for a lot of people, it's like, oh yeah, everything is feeling more open, so that might play into it too. So we're all saying this thing is probably going to make $100 million.
Well, its only problem is if it's a bad movie. That's what I'm scared of.
Not even if it's a bad movie, people won't know that until after they see it, right? So this is opening weekend we're talking about. It's like long term. But let me ask you this then: you guys are all saying 100. I'm saying 86. Chances it exceeds the 134 that the Batman had. I think it's got a decent. I put it over 50% that it'll exceed what Batman made as well.
I would too.
How high? Like, I'd say 70% chance it beats the Batman.
I'd take that bet. I think you're right.
75.
Yeah.
You're gonna go a little bit higher at 75. I'm gonna say 70, Ray.
I'll say what I said for the Batman. It'll make 135.
So you're gonna go $1 million over. You're playing Price is Right now. All right, let's keep going here. So after Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, we've got another comic book movie, the one everybody's talking about, Super Pets. Ugh. Super Pets.
Yay, Ray.
Listen, I have very little interest in this movie. I'm not going to lie. And the trailers have not done anything to improve that. But family film, got The Rock, which is going to appeal to a lot of people. It is a comic book property. I think that's going to play into parents as well. I'm going to say 55%. So I'm going to lean towards maybe it does. Again, I'm not going to give it much more over 55%, but I'm telling you, you put all those things, family friendly, recognizable IP. You got Superman and Batman in there. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's doing the voice. The parents, again, want to bring their kid. I'm going to go 55%. Rob, what do you think?
0.
There's
0 chance this movie's going to make $100 million.
You're giving Legally Blonde a better chance of getting $100 million than Super Pets?
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yes, I am.
Okay. 0%. Ray, what do you think?
1%. I think it's gonna make 54 million.
So
It'll go over 50 for sure. That's
over 50 for sure, but only
For-
1% that it can go. That it can go double that.
It's just that's the number that I picked for it not hitting 100. It's not hitting 100.
All right, not hitting out, Chris.
I'd go around 20%, same as Sonic kind of thing. Could do well. Could do.
And I'm the one in this room who has the least interest in
That's
this
very
movie.
true.
But I'm thinking it's going to be 55%. All right, we'll see how that does. All right, next up. Also, don't forget they just add the Keanu Reeves part to that too. So everybody's talking about that. All right, here we go. This is the one Ray's waiting for. Bob's Burgers, coming on May 27th.
All right.
I admit I'm not a Bob's Burgers guy.
I am.
Love it.
Ray is totally a Bob's Burgers guy.
Okay, let me ask you that, though.
I have it recorded every week.
All right.
That trailer sucks.
Okay. I thought that trailer was terrible.
I
It's
hate
terrible.
this trailer.
Awful.
It says nothing about the movie. Even as a Bob's Burger fan, I'm probably gonna watch it twice. I don't know. That trailer sucks, and they keep showing it.
Yeah, they don't change it.
The only good part is the intro because it's that burger. It looks so good.
Yeah,
which
it's like
is
a-
live action.
Is that the voice of Marshmallow too, doing the description?
I'm not
being like,
sure.
oh yeah, you want it.
I'm not
That
sure.
trailer is unfunny and painful
but the
to
one
watch.
thing I like about the trailer, the only time I even grinned was during that opening with the actual burger, and you hear one of the voices in the background. What's happening? And that was funny. First of all, as somebody who doesn't know Bob's Burgers, I'm watching that trailer. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, and I have no idea what this movie's about. Not one thing other than that. What's happening? Other than that, not once did I smile. Nothing made me laugh. And I'm like, this is brutal, Mark. And then they haven't improved it. They haven't corrected it. So I'm not. I don't want to underestimate the popularity of the show, but I'm going to go on a goose egg on this. I'm going to say 0, Rob.
Me too.
0 chance, Ray.
1%.
1%, Chris.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna see it, but I'm with you. The trailer looks kind of crummy.
That trailer is targeted towards fans of it already. It's not going to get anything outside of it.
But you're
with
a
that
fan of it
trailer.
already, and you said it was unfunny, and you hate the trailer.
Yeah, I'm saying.
but he's still going to go.
I'm going to
He's a
go
fan.
see it. It just really looks like a long episode of Bob's Burgers because everything that they do in the trailer is what you see in the episodes.
Right.
It's just on the big screen.
All right. Now we get up to the movie here that I think is the most interesting in this discussion as to what will make 100 million opening weekend. We are talking about getting into the danger zone. Woo! We're talking about
Volleyball.
Top Gun Maverick coming out, so they say, on May 27th. They bumped the release date like 8 times already, but May 27th. Again, you guys have heard me talk about this. I have seen 13 minutes of this movie. They showed us at CinemaCon. I was floored. Aaron and I were both completely floored. Like, it looks awesome. Whether the whole movie is awesome or not, I don't know. But this is an interesting one because it is Top Gun. Everybody knows Top Gun. Tom Cruise is still a legitimate A-list movie star. But this is a movie that should have come out 15 years ago. I mean, I think that's how long ago Tony Scott was trying to work on this thing and get this thing together, and they've been going on. And I mean, I just don't know anymore where things are at. But I do not want to underestimate Tom Cruise. So, and it is Top Gun, and it does look great. And when they start dropping the trailers for this, I think it's going to be legit. I'm going to say 60%. 60% that Top Gun makes $100 million opening weekend. Rob, what do you think?
I'm going to go all in on this.
Oh.
Now, this is me gambling. This is the gambling side of me coming out, and I'm actually, all the ridiculous movie knowledge I've locked away in my head has left me completely conflicted.
Right.
I think this movie is either going to be a runaway success,
Yeah.
or a
bust.
middling disappointment.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is why Tom Cruise is still flying planes 35 years after he was flying planes in the first movie. I don't know.
They kind of set it up. In the footage I saw, they kind of set it up. I think you're going to be happy.
I'm sure, but I look at this film and it looks it's got a volleyball scene in it. They're singing in the bar, whatever. It's like we've never grown up. The real question is, will younger audiences come to this movie? Will Gen Z and younger millennials even want to go see this movie? Does Top Gun, even that, when I would say, oh, it's a favorite on cable and home video, it's been too long. I always say, John, that the pop culture has a half-life of 20 years. And once you get past 20 years, it drops off precipitously. This film is from the mid-'80s, but the 80s are always popular. If this movie is as good as you say, and if this has...
Well, I've seen 13 minutes, so I can't...
I mean, hey, there's an air war happening in another part of the world right now. Maybe I'm going to go all in. I'm just going to say 100%. And if I'm wrong, I crash and burn. I lose my credibility. I turn in my geek card. But
You'll be the goose of this situation.
no.
Yes.
Oh, no, not Goose.
I will be. Damn, I will be.
Take me to bed or leave me forever.
I will
lose me
smash
forever.
my head on that cockpit as I'm ejecting for the last time. I'm going to go all in on this. I'm going to say yes, 100%.
100%. All right, Chris, what about you?
I'm a younger millennial and I have no interest in this film. I wasn't alive when the first one came out, and when I saw it, I was like, hey, volleyball's fun. Val Kilmer's hot. This doesn't really do anything for me. That said, the same thing, though, the nostalgia factor for so many other people. I'd give us a 50% chance.
You can go 50.
Yeah.
There's like a rumbling in myself that I feel we need a movie like this. I haven't seen a movie like this in a long time.
You're right.
a
We do need a movie like this.
A fighter jet in the sky, in the skies. Like I bought the Xbox flight stick, and every fight or F-15 game that comes on it for free, I'll download it and play it. So I'm into this. I just don't think it's gonna hit 100. I'll give it 5%.
It's been like the most anticipated film for what, like 4 years now? 5 years now?
Yeah, for everybody that's above 45.
But imagine the air stuff we're gonna get in this
It's going to
film.
look awesome.
I'm so excited for that. We'll
All
see.
we need is for them to announce that Louis Gossett Jr. is coming back for another Iron Eagle movie. Then we got something. All right. Let's keep going here. Next up on our thing, we're getting into June, and we're talking about Jurassic World Dominion. Look, you don't have to be a rocket scientist on this. These movies make money hand over fist. It just does. I have absolute zero. It doesn't matter what you think about the movies. These things always crush expectations. and it's always making a ton. If I go back, I'll look it up here in a second, but I'm going to go with zero doubt on this. This will be the first one that I actually proclaim. It's not going to be the best movie on this list, but I think it's got the most guaranteed chance. I am going to give this one my certified, probably my only 100% chance stamp on this. There is no doubt this thing makes $100 million opening weekend. So on June 10th, the weekend of June 10th, you're going to see a far exceeded $100 million opening for Jurassic World. Rob, what do you think?
Dude, it's got guys on horseback riding with dinosaurs across the plains of America as the sun is setting. You know what? This movie taps into what every 4-year-old boy has wanted to see
And girl.
his entire life, and girl too. I mean,
We go through our dinosaur phase.
there you go. So there it is. I think that this movie, there's 100% chance that this movie is going to make $100 million.
Even the last one, which was pretty underwhelming to a lot of people. I personally enjoyed Dominion. I did, or Fallen Kingdom. I mean, I personally enjoyed it. But even it was pretty underwhelming. It still made $149 million.
Yeah.
Opening weekend. So I have no doubt about this. Chris, what do you think?
I'm going to go with 98, and I'm only saying that because people are still kind of like, but Clone Girl, which, get over it.
Yeah.
That's where you draw the line in your science? Okay. This looks fantastic to me, and it's a trailer that made Rob cry.
I know.
I have all the faith in this in the world.
That's how marketing is done. This is
Yeah.
101%. This is the only dinosaur movies we get. And this is going to wrap up this trilogy. I think it's going to go past 100 million.
Yeah, that's the other part about this. We have the original cast back with this. So you got a little bit of Spider-Man No Way Homeism in there. Not
Zeddy
to the same
Goldblum.
degree. But you got the Bloom in there.
Dude, this is the Avengers Endgame of dinosaur
Yeah.
movies.
It is. That's what
That's
this is.
well put.
Think
All
about
right.
that. You said
Yeah.
it yourself right there. You set
Yep.
it up. That's exactly what's happening.
Yep. Okay. So let's move on now to this is another. I'm very curious to see what everybody's going to say about this one. Lightyear. Ooh. Okay. So we've obviously got the deep-rooted connections to this Toy Story franchise, maybe the most celebrated animated series of all time. One of the only animated properties in history to be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. That's what Toy Story 3 did. Probably a top 5 greatest animated film ever. They've got a different kind of approach to this. So you've got a little bit of the Sonic phenomena here, but I think on steroids.
Absolutely.
That this is a property that the parents all watched and the parents all saw and that their kids have been watching as well. And everybody loves it. The trailer was wonderful. The trailer was really good. Starman, like everybody's singing the song now. You got Chris Evans in there. I am not going to give this the 100% stamp because it is still not a big comic book movie or a Star Wars film or a Jurassic Park film. But I think out of all the animated fare on here, this is the one I would give the best chance. I'm going to go 65%. I think there's a really solid, decent chance this does it. The trailer's great. The parents want to see it. The kids want to see it. It's a family-friendly thing. I'm going to go 65% on this. Rob, what do you think?
I might go a little higher. I'll go 75. I have a lot of faith in this movie. But again, if the movie isn't good, and if our boy Bob Chapek says, you know what, we're going to put this on Disney Plus.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That's a possibility. And you know what? You know what'll happen, Bob? If that happens, that means the movie will grow 0 at the box office.
I'll tell you what. I've said Bob Chapek will not order this direct to Disney Plus. But if he does, I'm predicting right now, there's an emergency board meeting being called at Disney. I'm selling that. But anyway, but you're leaning 75.
75.
I'm going 65. Chris?
I'd probably sit around 75. You've got that nostalgia factor. The Toy Story franchise was really, really great. Plus, you have the existing IP, too, of Buzz Lightyear Star Command, which a lot of 90s kids really, really loved. And so you've got that momentum as well to have that kind of more realistic take. If we get Princess Miranova in there, I'm going to lose my freaking mind. Like, I think this has a lot of potential.
All right, Ray, what do you think?
2%. I mean, I like that it has.
Whoa!
I like that it has space.
You're making it a milk.
So you don't think people are interested in this?
I'm just saying I like that it has space and but it's just when you go back to like a franchise over and over again, and it's a character from a franchise. I'd rather see the bad guys over Lightyear.
But again, we're not predicting about what you want. You don't think people are going to be interested.
Oh
in
no
this.
no no. Okay, for this movie, 2%.
Oh, okay. Well, he double it up. All right.
It's not making 100.
All right. Let's keep going here. Next up, we've got Elvis. Now, look, I don't think we have to spend a lot of time on this. We all think this looks wonderful. I have no doubt this is not making $100 million. So because it does look good, I will not give it a goose egg. Most I'll say is 5%. So this isn't making $100 million opening weekend. No, Chris?
Can't wait to see it, though.
Right? Yeah, I'm super excited about it, but it ain't making $100 million. Elvis.
Oh, Elvis, no.
Yeah, no chance.
It's gonna be amazing.
All right. Then we get into a movie I'm every time a trailer comes on, I'm like, didn't that come out 3 years ago? Minions: The Rise of Gru. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of the Despicable Me franchise. I think the movies are fun. I wasn't so big on 3, but the movies are fun and entertaining, and they do well. But I just think this thing's gonna come out, and a lot of people are gonna look at it and say, "Wait, that didn't come out 3 years ago."
They're going to say to themselves, wait, I saw that already.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those Mandela effect movies where people are like, I saw that movie already, even though they haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So well, under normal circumstances, I would say this is a 75 to 90%er. I'm going to say it's a coin toss and go 50. What do you think?
If that.
If that,
I'd
Chris?
go with 50. I think that's a fair assessment.
Ray? The Rise of Gru. Oh, well.
1%.
1%. All right. Here we go. We keep going here. Next up, Thor: Love and Thunder coming July 8th. I can't not give this 100%. Like coming off of Thor Ragnarok, which was a huge crowd pleaser to both the hardcore bubble audience like us and the general movie-going audience adored it. Taika Waititi's on a roll. This thing looks fantastic. I'm going to go 100% on it.
Yeah.
Rob?
100%.
Chris?
100%. My mom quotes that movie.
Ray?
For what?
Thor: Love and Thunder. Sorry. Ray's doing his job. He's trying to interact with the live chat. Thor: Love and Thunder.
100%.
You're going to go 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to double check this though, because Thor Ragnarok it didn't have the biggest opening in the world. It made 122 million, but I think the momentum of this is just going to go sky high. So yeah, I'm going to stick with 100% here. Okay, next up, we got Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Woo!
That's a tough one.
There's so much going on. Hold on a second. Fantastic Beasts. Let me just see, what did Grindelwald do? Because I didn't think Grindelwald did great. Now, Grindelwald opened to 62 million, which is on the right side, getting closer to 100. I think this one will do better. I think this one will open higher than The Crimes of Grindelwald did. I think the trailer has been fantastic, building on the momentum of the whole Harry Potter 20th anniversary stuff. I'm going to make this one a coin toss. I'm going to make this one a 50%. Rob?
Yeah, I think I'd go with that too. Although the movie does look fantastic.
It does look really good.
It really
yeah.
depends, what people's appetites for Harry Potter is. But I could see it. I'll go a little higher, 60%.
Chris?
45 maybe. A lot of Harry Potter fans I've talked to are really, really split on going to see this because it is so connected to JK, whereas the 20th anniversary really separated itself. And there's a lot of, do I see this? Do I support this? I don't know how I feel about it. Which to all those people, I always say, support your fandom, support the people in them, remove politics from it when you can, and support charities and things that make you feel good about doing that so you can go see the movies you want. But most of the people I've talked to are really, really split about whether or not they're going to see it, even if they even are diehard Harry Potter fans.
Ray, what do you think?
5%.
Wow.
Whoa.
I'm very skeptical. 5%.
Well,
All right.
I mean, I'm judging these things either below 5% or 100.
There's not a lot of gray there. Not a lot of gray there. All right. We keep going here. We've got the new one, Nope, from Jordan Peele coming out. The trailer looks really good. 3%. I mean, I've got a feeling this is going to be good. And I think it's definitely going to have an audience.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
I can't see it doing super well, but I'm going to give it 3%. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it a 0. There's no chance that this movie's going to make $100 million opening weekend. However, that said, I can't wait to see this movie. It was right up my alley. Please be more, like you said, John, Get Out than Us, though.
Now, yeah, please, but even Us, which was not very good, Us opened to $71 million.
Right.
I mean, so like it's there, it's in that, but I just don't think this is going to appeal to a general audience.
Do you know what's really interesting for me about this movie? Like, I love the trailer. I love the feeling of it. My only problem with this is that the trailer and the title of the movie tell me two different things. Like, Nope, I smile and laugh at. The trailer did not make me laugh. The trailer was very intriguing. It was very atmospheric.
See, the trailer makes me think Nope is the perfect name for the damn thing.
It could go either way. That's the thing. And I'm like, it's either going to work really, really well, or it's going to be like Us, where I got to the end of the movie and I'm like, wow, I love the first half of this. And then it went where?
Say that again. How much did Us make opening?
71.
71. Oh, I might go on a limb here just because it's fun, and let's be wrong. 100%.
100%.
This makes at least 100 million.
I
on the
would love
dot.
to see that. I just hope this movie delivers.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's a separate question altogether.
I know.
Chris, what do you think? Think there's enough interest there from people to want to see Nope to $100 million?
I mean, I definitely want to see it, but I'd give it a 10%.
All right, so we're at 100. We're at 3. We're at all right.
Place on that one.
Let's keep going here. Next up, this is interesting. Coming to us on July 29th, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson bringing us Black Adam. There's a little bit of a Top Gun element here. That this was something, and a little bit of a Rise of Gru. It's like, oh, this movie didn't come out?
Yeah.
They've literally been talking about this film for 7 years. I mean, and so this is a brand new character in the DC space. It is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I will say 75%. I'm going to give it, so I'm leaning towards that it'll crack 100, but I'm not like at 100% like Thor Ragnarok. I'm going to go 75%. Rob, what about you?
I think I'm going to do that too. I mean, the general audience doesn't know how long this movie's been in production, but the general audience also doesn't know who Black Adam is. And the general audience, they might like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but even his movies, the good ones, are sort of middling. We both like Central Intelligence, Skyscraper, Jungle Cruise,
Rampage,
whatever. He's not that 100 million guarantee opening weekend guy yet. I'm iffy. I can't wait to see this movie. Justice Society's in it. Hawkman, Dr. Fate, bring it on. But I don't think it's going to do 100 million.
So what number are you coming in at?
I'll go 75% like you.
Oh, so you do think it's going to make 100 million?
Well,
I don't. If you're over 50, that means you're leaning
to be honest,
towards it.
you know what? I'm going to go 50%. Nah, I'm going to go 40. I just don't think this is going to make it. It might get close, depending on how good the movie is. If it gets great reviews and if early audience reactions are really
They
enthusiastic,
can push that over the edge for you.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to stick at 75. What do you think, Chris?
75 sounds good to me. I think this will kind of ride some of that Batman momentum. That trailer we see setting up the DCEU
Yeah,
too.
that's going to have a big impact as well.
I think that's going to kind of push this over. And man, Rampage had no business being as good as it was. Gosh, that was a fun movie.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it was one of his better ones, but,
No, but
it
it's
was
fun.
way more fun than
For
it had
what
any
it's
business.
Hey,
based
dude,
on.
I like San Andreas, man.
So I like San Andreas too.
I did too.
Ray, what do you think? Black Adam's chance.
Well, I'm reading here. Shazam made 53 million opening
Yeah.
weekend. I gotta go
Shazam
5.
didn't have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I know. That's why I'm gonna double that. It'll just barely make 100 million.
Okay, so you're saying it will. All right, let's keep going here. Next up, we got one of my most anticipated films of the year, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, coming in October. Here's the thing. I know that I love this movie more than the vast majority of people do. I mean, I know not everybody loves this film. I literally thought Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was the third best film of the year that it came out, which is 2018. I only thought A Quiet Place and Black Klansman were better. And this is the year that Infinity War and Black Panther came out, and I thought this was the best comic book movie that year. But it only made 35 million opening weekend. And now, granted, I think its audience has grown since then. I think appreciation for this movie has grown since then. But as much as it's probably like number 3 or 4 on my most anticipated of the year, what's remaining, I would only give it a 35% chance of cracking $100 million opening weekend. Even though I'm dying to see this, but I'm going to give it a 35% chance. Rob?
I think it's going to be huge.
I hope you're right.
I'm going to go 90% that this is going to make $100 million opening
I
weekend.
hope you're right. Ray, what do you think?
I'm hoping everyone caught it on TV, the ones who refused to see it, because I know people who didn't want to see it just because it was animation and they liked it, but I don't see it hitting 100 million. I don't.
Give me a number.
I'll go 2%.
2%. Okay.
More milk. 75%. I think that a lot of people found this once it started playing on TV, once it went to DVD, all of that good stuff. I'm hoping it does this. This, I think, is one of the best Spider-Man films, period. Like this, the game for the PS4, and Amazing Spider-Man.
I think this is the best Spider-Man movie ever.
It's so
Yeah,
good. It's so good.
All right. Next up, Halloween Ends. Woo! I did not like the last Halloween movie. I love the first one of this series. I loved the first one of this series. I was not big on the second one. I think there's a lot of people that felt a little disappointment in it. I'm going to go as high as 20% that Halloween Ends gets 100 million. Rob?
5%. I think this is a franchise that has run its course. People will go see it. But, yeah, no.
Okay. What do you think, Chris?
1%? Is it written by that Danny McBride? Eastbound and Down,
Yep.
Danny McBride?
Yeah, he did the first one too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, good job, Danny. Yeah, 1%. I don't think this is something that's going to hit that.
Okay. Now we get into another really interesting one. Flash, November 4th. I think there's a lot of potential here. They're already leaning into the Michael Keatonisms of it. I don't even think they've started to really, they haven't even begun their marketing on this yet. And it's already got a couple of steps up. I think with the success of Spider-Man No Way Home, and there's obviously going to make this, in their marketing, they're going to make this look similar to Spider-Man No Way Home. And that's smart. That's a totally smart thing to do. I'm going to give this thing an 80% chance. 80% chance the Flash makes a $100 million opening weekend. Rob, what do you think?
I'm going all the way. 100%.
100%? Chris?
90. I'm a little skeptical, but I do think it's going to make it.
Chris?
All right.
Ray?
Yeah,
I confuse us too.
we'll go 100.
I'm going to go 100. Okay, so 80,
100.
100, 90, 100. There we go for Flash. All right, this one's going to be really interesting too. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. First Black Panther, massive smash hit. But 2 strikes. It doesn't have...
Chadwick
Which one
Boseman.
should I say first? We'll go with the actor. It does not have Chadwick. And then proceeding from that, they've refused to recast the role, so they've also gotten rid of the main character. They've gotten rid of T'Challa. So it does not have Chadwick Boseman, number 1, and it doesn't have T'Challa, who's your main character in the first one. I still think it's going to have a $100 million opening, but I am not giving this thing 100 because of that. I think people are underestimating how big of a hurdle those two things are. So I'm going to go 75%. I mean, still, obviously, I'm thinking it does, but I'm not going to go 100. I'm going to say 75% on this. Rob, what about you?
I'm going all in 100% on this.
Really? Even the fact that it's lost its star and it's lost its main character?
That doesn't mean it isn't going to be great.
I'm not saying it isn't going to be great, but I think that's going to be a hindrance
I
to
just
some
think,
people.
again, I think people are waiting for this. I think it's a movie that's part of the zeitgeist. I think that it's called Wakanda Forever, which has become a battle cry in the world. It's going to make $100 million.
What do you think?
90% on this one as well. I do think people are going to see it just because it's part of the Wakanda story. And the public audience, too, also doesn't know about how much of a production nightmare this has been. I think they're going to just go see it because of the IP.
Ray?
100.
100%. Okay, next one up. Now we're getting into December. A film I had a lot of fun with. The first DCEU film to hit $1 billion at the box office. Aquaman, with my man, Jason Momoa.
Oh, man.
He's recently reunited with his wife. Made everybody in the world feel good about that.
Aw, yeah.
But
All your girlfriends are safe.
but here's one thing to keep in mind. Aquaman did not make $100 million on its opening weekend. Aquaman made $68 million on its opening weekend. It was a movie that had legs, like obviously great legs. making it to
Momoa's
$1 billion. It had Momoa's legs. So considering the first one started a little slow and built momentum and got big and took advantage of the Christmas season, I'm not going to say it's 100%, but I will say 90. I will say 90. Like, the first one is so much fun. It's got a lot of positive emotion behind it. I think it's going to be coming off of The Flash, which I think it's going to be successful. So, yeah, I'm going to go 90%. Rob, what do you think?
100%.
100%.
People love Momoa. They love Aquaman. They love this. This movie the first one grossed over $1 billion. 100%.
All right, Ray?
5%.
5%.
That's the highest I give when I don't think it's gonna make 100 million.
All right.
It could make 99. I'm saying it might make 99, but it won't pass 100 million on opening weekend.
All right, Chris?
90% again. All these DCEU films, I think, have the potential, but just not 100% sure.
All right.
Going all in.
Then we've got, is that one coming out in 2022? Well, there's 2 left, and that's these. Avatar 2. Assuming it doesn't get delayed for the 49th time.
Yeah.
Avatar 2 opening the same, by the way, we got to take this into consideration. It's technically opening the same day as Aquaman.
Oh.
She.
Opening the same day as Aquaman.
That's tough.
That's tricky.
You know what? The little bubble fanboys again that we live in. Nobody cares about Avatar 2, blah, blah. Yes, they fucking do.
Yeah.
And all these people who are, no, it's not even going to make 20 million. I've had people seriously look me in the face and say they don't believe Avatar 2 is going to make 20 million opening weekend. There's going to be a very big slap of reality across the face when this thing opens. I will tell you what, Avatar 2 100% makes it now. The first one also, like the first Aquaman, started slow out of the gate. But then it became the worldwide cultural phenomenon and is, by the way, the #1 biggest box office movie of all time. Until Endgame gets a re-release, then it'll hopscotch over it. But for now, it is the #1 box office film of all time. It is 100% that Avatar, even opening against Aquaman, 100% Avatar 2 makes $100 million opening. I'm not saying it's going to be a $2 billion movie like the last one was. I'm not saying that. I don't even know what kind of legs it's going to have, but it will open to $100 million. 100% it will. Rob, what do you think?
Look, there is a fanboy blind spot for certain things that have certain kind of emotional resonance. The fact that Robert Pattinson, people still called him Twilight Boy, that's a symptom of the same thing. The healthy dislike of avatars, it comes from the same well. And in fan circles, I've found myself defending Avatar since it came out, which I thought is absurd because it's James Cameron. When will people learn? Never, ever, ever bet against James Cameron.
Yep.
Ever. This movie, like you said, John, it's $100 million. I understand Avatar's, it's like Fern Gully, it's like Dances with Wolves. What you really mean is it's an emotional journey that has romance in it and that has wonder and awe. It's not as cool as maybe your favorite movie, but there's a reason it's one of the highest grossing films of all time. And this one, look, if it's not a $100 million opener, that means that James Cameron has failed for the first time in his life, like utterly failed. The man has delivered since 1984. I will not take that bet. He's one of the GOATs, John.
So give us your number.
100%.
Now, by the way, want to remind everybody, like Aquaman, it did open slower. Aquaman opened at 60-something. The first Avatar opened to 77. But again, that's because it wasn't the worldwide global phenomenon. So what number did you give it again?
100%.
You're going to go 100%, Chris?
I'd give this one 100%.
Yeah, I have no doubt about it. Even opening against Aquaman, I have no doubt. Ray?
You know, the delays actually, I think, help this movie.
You think so?
Because of the time gap between the two, the technology in the first one, like the visual effects, this is going to be a spectacle, I think, in water.
No doubt.
100%.
Okay, we got, I think this is the first one that we're 100%. Oh, no, were we all 100% on Jurassic? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think we were.
Okay, I think we were. Yeah, so there you go. And then the last one, which I don't even know if it's going to come out this year or not, but the animated untitled Mario movie with Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Jack Black, Seth Rogen, Fred Armisen, Keegan-Michael Key, 5%.
Yeah,
I'm not even, look, I'd give it only a 40% chance it actually opens this year. But
Yeah.
for now, I'm going to say 5%. You guys?
If that.
Ray?
I'll go with you. 5.
This
Okay.
is my goose egg.
Oh, this is your goose egg.
Nostalgia is playing against this movie. Everyone's so mad. Everyone's so mad about every choice with this movie. I'm wearing a Mario dress right now, and I'm one of those people too who's like, I don't care about this at all.
All right. So there you go, guys. That was a long segment. But there's all the films that we talked about that we think have the chances of making 100 million. Remember, we're not talking about the quality of the movies. We're talking about, do we think there is interest in the fan base to get out there and see those films opening weekend?
Everyone's playing at home right now. They were playing. They're
Yeah.
judging us.
Yeah,
We're
everybody's
being
judging
judged.
us. We'll see. But anyway, that's our thoughts on this, guys. What do you think? Do you generally like our picks? Do you think we got it way wrong or one or two of them? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of today's video, the good folks at Manscaped. You know, I was in the shower the other day and I looked down and I thought, my goodness, the boys look fantastic. Dr. Jack Hammer, the amazing Mr. Fantastical, have never looked or felt better, and that is in part due to our friends at Manscaped. Because our friends at Manscaped are the global leaders in below-the-waist hygiene and are turning men's shower dreams into their favorite routine with the all-new Ultra Premium Collection. This all-in-one hygiene skin and hair bundle is designed to upgrade the everyday man's shower routine from head to toe. Your skin, hair, and balls deserve the best, my friends. You start off using the cologne-infused ultra premium body wash with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean and moisturized all day. Then boom, it's time to take care of your hair. Simply apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that cleanses and nourishes your hair all in one step. Then once you dry yourself off and hop out of the shower, it's time to protect yourself from body odor by applying the Manscaped aluminum-free deodorant. And do you have tattoos or any dry skin? A lot of us do. It's time to hit your skin with the hydrating body moisturizer spray. Cap it all off by applying some Manscaped lip balm. And then last but not least, we're moving on to the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer to clean off any unwanted body hair. So guys, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Campea, that's C-A-M-P-E-A at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Campea at manscaped.com. And a very special thanks to our friends at Manscaped for being a sponsor of today's episode of the John Campea Show. Make sure you use that promo code Campea, guys. Take care of the boys. All right. With that down, guys, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This is from Marcus C. Hey, John, I just saw that Deadpool was apparently originally set to appear in Shang-Chi as an official piece of early concept art for the film was released and revealed that he was going to be in the cage fighting tournament scene. Do you think this increases the chance of seeing him before Deadpool 3 is out? Love to know your thoughts. Love the show.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yeah, look, in the MCU world, there's a lot of big hot topics about things we speculate about. One of the biggest, though, for a long time has been, when are we going to see Deadpool? When's Deadpool going to show up? Some people think it's going to be in Doctor Strange 2. Some people think it's going to be in this. Some people think it's going to be in that, whatever. Got a lot of messages in the last 24 hours from people saying, did you see that Deadpool was originally supposed to be in Shang-Chi? Which to me was like, how, for, why, when? Because where on earth would Deadpool have ever fit into that story? Well, what this is all coming from was, you remember the scene when they go to Shang-Chi's sister's fight club, and obviously in there, that's where we met Wong, and we saw Abomination in there and all that kind of stuff. Well, apparently, some original concept art has been released, and in that original concept art, walking into the cage, you see in the cage, Deadpool fighting Proxima Midnight in there, which has gotten a lot of people saying, did you see that Deadpool was originally going to be in the movie? But was he? Let's go over and take a look at this. This comes to us from the folks at Screen Rant who write the following. Concept artist Andrew Kim has shared a few pieces of work he did for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings that are all based around Xilin's Golden Daggers Club. The setting provided the movie with 2 big MCU cameos in the final cut, as Wong, played by Benedict Wong, and Abomination, Tim Roth, were shown fighting. Andrew Kim's rendition of the scene is quite intriguing, though, because it shows Deadpool fighting Proxima Midnight. The concept art, which can be seen below, was commissioned by Marvel Studios in 2019. Even though this Shang-Chi concept art was made, it is unclear if the idea to include Deadpool in the art was suggested by Marvel Studios or something Kim did on his own to have some fun. Concept art for Marvel movies can change quite drastically based on the finished project. The artists are often given the freedom to bring their own ideas early on to life. All right. So yes, we see in this image Deadpool fighting Proxima Midnight, but I am going to tell you right now, without any insider information. So for all I know, Kevin Feige could give me a call and tell me I'm wrong about this. But until that happens, Deadpool was not going to be in this movie. Deadpool was never going to be in this movie. I think this article points it out perfectly. They gave the concept art this general idea and probably said we're going to have a couple characters fighting in the cage, and he had that because guess what? Proxima Midnight is dead.
Yeah.
Proxima Midnight is not alive at this point. I think this was totally a case of the artist doing his thing and just threw a couple things in there. So while yes, it was in the concept art, I don't believe for 1 second, unfortunately, because it is kind of fun to think, man, I would love to see Deadpool fight Shang-Chi. That would be so fun. Simu Liu, Ryan Reynolds, two good Canadian kids getting on screen and having a big epic Canadian battle. I would love it. But no, I don't believe for a second this was ever actually intended to be in the movie. I think this was just the artist having some fun. So as exciting and as cool as the idea sounds, I don't think that was the case. Rob, you see this concept art. What do you think of it? And do you think it was ever actually going to be a part of the movie?
No. And the reason being is I think if they're going to bring Deadpool into the Marvel Universe, Deadpool is the star of his own two very successful movies. Maybe not Endgame successful, but still very successful films. Both made $750+ million each. And the first one made that on a $65 million spend. It was a big hit. They're not going to bring a character like Deadpool with a star power of Ryan Reynolds and put him into a glorified cameo to bring him in, unless it's in a different way. But this, this harks back to how many, between Mortal Kombat, how many Marvel fighting games have there been where all the different characters, hell, Moon Knight's in Marvel fighting games and you can pin him against, I don't know, the Silver Surfer. It's just fun. And I don't think this had any bearing or was this ever really considered, like you pointed out. But it's a lot of fun to consider.
It is fun to consider. Chris, we see these images. The idea, I love seeing Wong and Abomination fighting. And that was so much fun. It was like right out of a fantasy video game matchup. I'm not going to lie. I see a picture of Deadpool and Proxima Midnight squaring off. It's like, oh, yes, please. But I don't personally think it was ever going to be part of the movie. What's your interpretation of it?
And I'm so glad you brought up that she's dead. Because that was my first thought when I saw this. I was like, nope, hard no. And it's a great example of wouldn't it be cool if?
Yep.
It'd super be cool. It'd be great. But it wasn't going to happen. Not in this film. And sure, I could see them doing a cameo like this. But like you said, Rob, you're not going to put Ryan Reynolds just in the background throwing a couple punches. That's not how we're going to use that star power.
No.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to tell people, I don't think we're going to see Deadpool for a beat. He's not going to be in Doctor Strange. He was not supposed to be in Shang-Chi. I think it's going to be a little bit of a beat before but when he does, man, when Deadpool comes into the MCU, these films were flirting with $1 billion as R-rated stuff without being in the MCU. Oh my God, when it's in the MCU, it's going to be pretty big. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this image? This is something I would have had a lot of fun seeing, but I don't think it was ever actually going to be in the movie.
No.
Maybe you guys think differently. Why so? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 4, shall we? Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
This comes from Nikos K. Greetings from Greece, John and crew. So the Batman seems to have conquered both critic and audiences with this year's Oscars coming closer. I can't help but wonder if it's really Oscar worthy. Is it possible for the Batman to be nominated on the big categories next year? Personally, I think Giacchino's music especially deserves a nomination, but what do you guys think?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And yeah, look, whenever a movie comes out, do you think it could be Oscars, especially before the movie comes out in theaters? We haven't seen it yet, and people are asking, Do you think this movie could be an Oscar contender? It's like, well, we haven't seen it. Any movie could be an Oscar contender. Every single movie. The untitled Mario movie, Chris, could be a contender for Best Picture. It absolutely can. We haven't seen it yet. No idea.
That hurts my heart.
Maybe
But-
best song.
Maybe best song, maybe best animated film, who knows? But even once you've seen a film when it's early on, remember, movies getting Academy Awards is not like getting an A in school. Every student in the class could get an A if they all study hard, do well on the test, and they can be given an A. That's not how the Oscars work. Because not only do you have to be incredible, you have to hope 5 other films don't come out that do it better, depending on the category. If it's Best Picture, then it's 10, but you got to hope there won't be 5 others. So it's always very precarious trying to, give a prognostication about a film's Oscar chances when it comes out right now, this early in the year. But The Batman was remarkable. And it's not just that it was remarkable and that a lot of critics and industry people are liking, it's which critics and which industry people really love it. And I would say that while it is impossible to truly tell right now, if you had to put my feet to the fire at this minute, I would say, yes, The Batman will get some Oscar buzz come the Oscars next year. Now, we have to see everything else that comes out, because maybe we see 15 other films this year that we all think are much better than The Batman. Sure. So let's play this game for a moment. What films or what categories could something like The Batman have potential for? Well, obviously, starting off, there is some of the technical stuff, like art design. Like the design and the look of this film.
Production
is
design's incredible.
Unbelievable. I mean, I think if any of them, my number one thing that I have to put up there is production design. The production design with every room, every street scene, every clubs, everything, it's so beautifully put together that the environment of this film just pulls you into it incredibly. I would say that is the front runner for me. For out of all the potential categories that the Batman could qualify for and get nomination for, I think production design has to be right at the top of the list. The person mentioned Michael Giacchino's score. I think, yes. I mean, who knows? There could be 8 other scores that come out this year that are way better than it. We won't know. But right now, I'd have to say, yeah, that was an Oscar-level score. It did everything a score is supposed to do in a movie. So I think that would be up there as well. Best adapted screenplay. I think it's in the conversation. I think this was a fantastic screenplay. And so would I put money on it that it'll get a best adapted screenplay nomination? No, I wouldn't put money on it. But right now, I think that's one of the categories that's in the conversation. All right. A lot of people are going to ask about Pattinson. I don't think Pattinson gets an Academy Award nomination for this. While he did a great job, what he was asked to do was a very more limited character in this film. This film was asked to be more of a narrow range character, and it didn't really give him the opportunity to stretch a lot out of it. Future Batman movies may, but right now, so I'm going to take Robert Pattinson's performance off the board, even though I thought he was great in it. Zoe Kravitz, supporting actress, that could be in the conversation. But I'll tell you what will absolutely be in the conversation is Paul Dano. Paul Dano, when it comes to the performances side, I think Paul Dano's, for Best Supporting Actor for playing Riddler, he has the best chance out of any of the other acting categories. I also thought Jeffrey Wright was great, but I think, Paul Dano, what he was given to do and what he did, I mean, God, that interrogation scene that we see a bit of it in the trailer, he's so remarkably good in that. So I got to put it there. And yeah, I think the Batman will be in the Best Picture conversation. Again, now that that's a wider conversation with 10 potential nominees, I think it's in the wider conversation. Visual effects, maybe, but this isn't a visual effects super heavy movie. So maybe not. Costume design could be in the conversation as well.
Lighting.
Greg Fraser,
Lighting isn't a
cinematography.
nomination, but cinematography, I think, definitely has to be in the conversation as well. So yeah, I think the Batman is definitely going to be in a lot of the conversations come Oscar time next year. But leading the way for me is production design, Giacchino, and Paul Dano. Cinematography you might have to put in there too, and Best Picture. So there are 5 categories that I think have legitimate possibilities. Rob, when you're looking at the Batman right now, it's early. It's way too early. But if you had to say, what are the categories you think it could be in line for when it comes to Oscar time?
I'd give Colin Farrell a supporting actor
Oh,
shot.
yeah. But do you promote him over Paul Dano?
It's tough. Sometimes they promote 2 people. I think Colin Farrell, though, was extraordinary. And the fact that he was able to, when an actor is willing to give up, I mean, he's a very attractive man. When an actor is willing to go that deep and be that not vain and pull something like that off, I think it's admirable. But I think, like you said, screenplay, cinematography, sound design, or sound, whatever they've combined the categories.
Sound design.
That's definitely there. So I think a lot of the technical categories, yes. Maybe Best Picture, maybe.
What about makeup for Penguin?
Makeup, definitely. Makeup would be in there. So there's a lot. I mean, of all the categories.
You know what we haven't talked about yet? We haven't talked about Matt Reeves. I thought he did, and I mean this as the highest praise. This was his Denis Villeneuve moment. I mean, I think the direction, I mean, everything about this film is the direction. But that's going to be a tougher one. That's a tougher nut to crack. And only 5 nominees.
The fact that Denis Villeneuve did not get nominated for Dune, when Dune is such a directorial, Dune is such a movie that relies on directorial vision, and he didn't get a nod. I don't know. I thought that was a mistake, but but definitely still could be there.
Chris, I mean, when we're looking at this movie, what are the categories to you, if any, that you think the Batman could be in serious contention for?
Cinematography is the big standout for me on this one.
Was
this
great.
is shot beautifully. It is so stunning to look at. That scene, too, where it's just him bent over looking in there. We have that lovely slow moment where he's just bending over to look into a car. Oh, it's such a good scene. Obviously, the score here is incredible. It is so great, but that production design, the way Gotham looks and feels is it makes the whole movie. So I would be really, really surprised if we don't see that. And of course, Penguin's makeup is just out of this world. Those prosthetics are incredible. And if you haven't yet, watch Colin Farrell's Hot Ones, where he talks about how freeing it made his performance. It's so interesting.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think could be, and we won't hold anybody to this because it's way too early in the year, but for discussion's sake, right now, what do you think could be the categories that a movie like The Batman could seriously, honestly be in contention for later on next year when we get to the next Academy Awards? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump on down to the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's get into main topic number 5. Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
5th topic comes from Jordan. Now that Uncharted has been released in theaters and has been a hit for Sony as a studio, it looks like they're in negotiations with Amazon to make a God of War TV show. Knowing how Ray feels about Paramount's Halo show, does doing a TV show make you more excited to follow the story of Kratos, or do you think it's a mistake for them to not make this into a live-action film? Thanks, and bring on the filthy.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And it's funny because I've been playing God of War. I finally started playing God of War on my PS5, having a lot of fun with it. This is, everybody says, all video games have some movie quality stories. No, they don't. But there are a couple that do. God of War is absolutely one of those. Last of Us is above that one, but God of War totally is. And it's remarkable. Now, just to the last question you asked, do I think it's a mistake? Do I think this would be better as a movie? 100%. You give this theatrical production budget, gives a good 2-hour, 20-minute movie of this. So yes, it would be better as a movie. But we don't have a movie.
Right.
We don't have it. So in the absence of that, do I love the idea of them doing an Amazon series on this? Absolutely. And oh my God, Amazon continues to throw down the gauntlet. They continue to throw down the gauntlet with the stuff that they're doing and the stuff that they're producing. And them going after a God of War. And by the way, like other things, they're showing we're not going to go at this half-assed. We're getting the guys in who do the Expanse to oversee and shepherd this thing. What? I mean, the Expanse was a show I was late to, but you guys and Rob got me turned on to it. It's like, oh my God.
I'm wearing my Expanse sweatshirt today.
Oh, you are? I didn't even notice that. The Rosinante.
Right there.
I mean,
you,
it's
Fernando
some of the
Barrero.
best sci-fi on television ever. Anyway, this comes just from the folks over at CBR who write the following. Sony Interactive Entertainment's iconic God of War video game series is being eyed by Prime Video for a live action show. The project has entered negotiations and has the Expanse creators and executive producers Mark Fergus and Hawk Otsby attached, along with the Wheel of Time showrunner, another show I like, Rafe Judkins. In addition, Sony Pictures Television and PlayStation Productions will collaborate on the show, as is the case with all projects based on PlayStation titles. And again, this comes to us from the folks over at CBR. Yes. And 100 yeses. I love this idea. This story is so great. These characters are so wonderful and deep. I mean, look, and I hope they kind of pick up with the story that we have in the recent God of War game. I don't need them to go back to the original games, to be honest with you, but there's so much backstory to him that you could do a lot of flashbacks and all this kind of stuff. I don't know how much you want to focus on his son, but that dynamic of the relationship of him and his son is is kind of what made that story so incredibly good. I mean, even right from the beginning of the game, like with the game start, for those of you who don't know the game, like the recent game, it literally starts with them preparing for the funeral of his wife and his son's mother. And now being in a very uncomfortable position of being a father alone. I mean, right from the beginning of the damn thing, it has emotion and depth and catharsis to it. Like it's amazing. So if you can dive into this and if you can bring to it what Amazon seems to be hell-bent on bringing. They seem to be going like they're absolutely swinging for the fences every single time. Would I prefer a feature film? Yes. But I ain't got that. So would I prefer a Ben Affleck Batman? Yes, but I don't have that. So I'm damn happy to have Matt Reeves. I'm damn happy to have this. I think this sounds great. Anyway, Rob, you're hearing about this. Amazon swinging for it again. They're going to go down the road with God of War. You like this idea? We've got the Expanse guys running it. What do you think about this?
I was saying this last night. I mean, I think this is a great idea. And also, what's interesting is if you kind of follow the games, you can kind of change it every season. You know, you can go to different time frames. I always say Kratos. I know it's Kratos. I always say Kratos. I don't know why, but Kratos. His origin and what happened to make him the God of War, the titular character and all that, and then moving into different time periods and bringing, I think the new game is called Ragnarok,
yeah.
You know, and to do that, to go through the different world mythologies and all that is awesome. And what a great character he is. And the first game, I was thinking about this last night, it was PlayStation 2, right? That was the first version.
Oh, I couldn't remember which console.
I want to say it was PlayStation 2 that the first God of War came out on. Because that was the first time, and then PlayStation 3. But this game it's always been awesome. You know, it's in a way it's simple in its ideas, but really, really effective. And again, you have a central character that's a star-making turn for anybody who's going to play him. So,
by the way,
count me in.
That is a huge question mark. Who plays?
I mean, this is good. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I if you understand this character, Dwayne Johnson cannot play this character.
I know. Who else are you going to get that's that big?
Okay. You know who could play this? Considering the very much, while there's a lot of heavier undertones to it, there's a monotone aspect to the character as well. Dave Bautista could play this role. He's been getting better and better as an actor. If it's not calling for him to have too terrible much range,
I could see
other
that.
than rage. I think that Dave Bautista could play this.
I also since it's a series, the casting could be more open now.
Yes.
And someone in the chat actually brought up the dude from Creed 2, Florian. If he could get the actor.
Razor Fist from Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Razor Fist from Shang-Chi. A little young.
Oh, I like in the
young.
chat the Gerard Butler suggestion.
Little small.
300?
I mean, like,
And he's only. I think
Oh,
he's.
you can pop him on an Apple box. He'll be fine.
Plus, he can't
I
be.
mean, I
cool.
love Gerard Butler. I'm
Yeah.
always down for Gerard Butler, but
This has Witcher written all over to me. Like this series. It's giving me like a Witcher sort
Ryan Reynolds.
because of I don't know.
I think it could be more. I mean, this has to be bloody and hardcore. I mean, it's really got to be in your
Big
face.
monsters.
Yeah,
Big
I mean, I want to
monsters,
see
yeah.
some real. This has got to be heavy. This has got to be metal, dude. This.
and
has
what's
gotta
the
be
name of
one
the
metal
guy
show.
from Stargate who does the Christopher Judge?
Yeah.
Who does such a great job. I still remember watching the Video Game Awards when God of War won Best Game, and Christopher Judge and the young actor who did the voice of his son. Both it wasn't when they won. They were going up to present one of the awards. So they go up on stage together to present one of the awards, and it was one of the great moments of the Video Game Awards ever to me, because they go up, they're saying, "Hey, you know, the category is blah blah blah," and the little boy had the envelope, and Chris Judge turns to him and in his Kratos voice, "Read it, boy." And I just remember, oh my God, that's so awesome.
I got the perfect casting.
Okay, perfect casting.
Stone Cold or Bill Goldberg. Right there.
Oh my God. Jonah, somebody's saying Jonah Hill for Kratos in the live chat. Jonah Hill. I mean, or hey, you know what? Alvin Mertos in the live chat is saying Mike Coulter.
Mike Coulter would be great.
Dude, I got a man crush on Mike Coulter, man.
Oh.
I'm all about that.
That's a handsome
Yeah.
man.
He's a
Sweet
handsome man.
Christmas.
That is
Ooh.
a bit, for those of you who don't know, we're talking about Luke Cage.
Yeah.
That's a big, girly, handsome man.
He's
right
dreamy.
there. I mean, he could do it. I mean,
He-
he's
got the right voice.
Super actor as well.
He did Halo 5 with Nathan Fillion. So
Anyway, a lot of possibilities here. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about the possibility, or well, more than a possibility, that we've got a God of War series coming on Amazon from the showrunners and creators of The Expanse? How good does that sound? What are you guys thinking about it? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a minute and thank the sponsor of today's video, the good folks at Keeps. Now look, you guys probably already know that 2 out of every 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they're just 35 years old. Now that's where Keeps comes in, because Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. That means the guys that use it love it. Keeps offers a simple, affordable, and stress-free way to keep your hair. It's also low cost. Treatments start as low as just $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions for the 2 FDA-approved medications to prevent hair loss. That means treatment plans are affordable, typically half the cost of pharmacy prices. Keeps has everything your hair needs delivered straight to your door with discreet packaging and proven results. Remember, prevention is the key. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so the sooner you act, the better. When it comes to your hair, save more, spend less with Keeps. So if you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to Keeps, that's KEEPS.com/Campea to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's Keeps, KEEPS.com/Campea to get your first month free. Keeps.com/Campea. And special thanks to the good folks at Keeps for sponsoring and making today's episode of the John Campea Show possible. Remember, use that promo code Campea, guys. All right, with all that down now, let's spend the rest of our time today taking your live comments and questions that you guys have been sending in. So let's get on over to it, shall we? Chris, what do we got in there?
First one is from Comic Nizer. Now that I've seen Batman 3 times, I confirm that it is my favorite DC movie.
It is, look, again, I still want more time to digest it a little bit, but it's right up there, man.
pretty high.
It is right up there. I'm glad you liked it that much, Comic Nizer. What's up? What's next?
John Redcorn, do Terminal for Movie Club, LOL.
No! No!
Ray would be
God!
happy.
No! I don't care how much Ray wants it.
Ray's Terminal Club, baby. Coming to you.
A podcast
special
only about the
episode.
Terminal.
Of Movie Club with just Ray talking about Terminal. All right, what's next?
Beast Gaming, I saw a woman and 2 young children leave the Batman about halfway through and not return. I guess it wasn't the movie she was expecting.
I mean, look, and we've heard stories like this, right? And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Listen, it's a Batman movie. Yeah, and the trailers look a little dark. Still, it's Batman. And so there were probably some parents that took kids thinking it would be okay. And then for some kids, it probably is okay. But for some parents, it's like, this is a little much, especially right in that opening scene
Yeah.
when
Ooh.
Riddler. Well, I won't say what happens, but especially right from that opening scene. I mean, yeah. So I'm not surprised, and I don't blame the lady at all. That's
Yeah.
good parenting. Look, you took your kid to it, and you started watching, and you thought, you know what? I feel like this is a little bit too much for my kids. Good parenting. Take them out and go home and maybe watch it again in a year or two when you think maybe they can nail it. So good on them. All right.
Those tickets still count too.
Yeah.
And
Towards the box office.
The tickets absolutely still count for the box office. All right, what's next?
From CMG2491, you know, I used to hate that I didn't live near an AMC theater, but after last week, I'm actually glad I don't. It's still Cinemark for me. Thanks, Aaron.
Yep, Adam Aaron doing his best to drive as many people away as possible. Yeah, but but I say that it's still my favorite movie theater going experience.
Sure.
Still is. I really just want them to get rid of this guy. Anyway, what's next?
Assistant Professor X. John and gang, sorry for the Marvel HQ slow burn. Super chats open and close super fast now.
Yes, they do.
Power of a poster, right? RDJ casting next.
I don't know what that's about. RDJ casting next.
Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah,
Well, I
slowly
know
trickling
Robert Downey
in
Jr., but I don't know
how
what he means
Robert
by-
Downey Jr. got cast.
What's that?
He's been slowly trickling in how people get
that's
cast
right.
in the shows.
And by the way, thank you for that, Assistant Professor. It's still one of my favorite names in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. And I've had some people complain, and I get it, that we open up the super chats 5 minutes before the show starts, and we're often having to turn them off 2 or 3 minutes into the show. But that's because we are dedicated to answering every super chat that gets sent in this show. No follow-up videos. We're going to answer. If you send in a question this show, it gets answered this show.
Yeah.
But you guys write them in so quick that we have to cut them off, or else we're not going to have time to answer them. So I understand it can be a little bit frustrating that if you're not here in that little 5 to 10 minute window, you don't get your question. You don't get your question submitted. I get that, but it's kind of what we're working with right now. But
Yeah.
by the way, that's a great problem for us. Thank you so much, guys, for being so active and so involved and interacting so much and supporting our channel on that level that we do have to turn it off so quickly. So thank you so much for that, guys.
Our mailbag show has become an option for people.
Yeah, if you want to send in a question for mailbag using the tip link down below, we do those 3 times a week. And so thank you for that.
And we're
everybody.
doing them together. It's almost like an extra dose of the John Campea
Well, the last
show.
one was like an hour and a half long, our
I
mailbag
know.
with you and me. All right, what's next?
Andy, who sends in a $50 super chat.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Thank you, Andy, for
Andy.
supporting us on that level, man.
And this is one of 6.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Thanks for the awesome fan screening on Friday.
Oh, that's Andy was there.
Had a fun time coming to cheer on Nicole Kidman.
Woo!
You
And we
guys,
did.
You guys were wonderful. Chris, you're even sweeter in person than you are on screen. Well, thanks. You make the show seem more cheerful. Rob, hearing your beautiful voice make threats in person was even more magical to my ears than on my PC. You can threaten me anytime. I also kept my word and tipped the strippers and made it rain generously while
there you go.
stoned as fuck. Finally, Campea, can't believe you're 50.
Yep.
Thanks for the fan screening and taking a pic with me. I was the guy with the best birthday ever Batman
I remember.
poster.
I saw his post on Twitter, too.
I was even surprised but ecstatic that you liked my Facebook post on it. But my sister made that awesome poster, and I was simply going to laminate it and hang it on my wall because it looked great and to remember an excellent birthday week. But the fan screening and interactions with you just makes me cherish that poster and the week even more. Thanks so much, Campea.
Oh, and thank you so much for coming to that fan. We've done 2 of these now. We did one for Spider-Man No Way Home, and we did one for Batman. So we keep it small, intimate. And it was just great meeting everybody. So much fun. It was great that you brought that poster with the birthday thing. That was great. I'm thinking about maybe doing one for Morbius.
We should. And I got to thank Andy because he was really pushing me to go after a new career path.
Ninja?
He really wants
ASMR.
me to start an ASMR channel.
Oh my God.
I think it's not a bad
The dulcet
idea.
tones.
I mean, I never thought about it. But he was like, and he was doing it in a very nice way, but he was adamant. He's like, dude,
Yeah.
you really should try and do that. I'm like, I don't know. I'd have to hire Chris Carr to help me.
Yeah. I'll coach you.
Coaching how to do
That'll
that.
be great.
And Andy, again, thank you. And to everybody, all the you guys who came to the fan screening of the Batman, thank you so much for coming in. We'll do it again real soon. All right. And happy belated birthday again, man. All right. What's next?
Fatima Mahmood. Yesterday, John, you were asked, would you choose No Way Home or Batman? But the question I want to know is, would you choose Batman or Shang-Chi?
Oh, geez. See, Shang-Chi is a movie that, like No Way Home, or Into the Spider-Verse, I should say, I like more than most people. Like Shang-Chi, I still remember how buzzed I was coming out of that movie for the first time. That is a movie that strikes all the chords for me. Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
But again, I've had months to marinate on Shang-Chi. I've had days to think about the Batman. If you ask me that again in 6 months, I may have a different answer. But like Shang-Chi for me is it's such a profoundly wonderful theatrical experience, from the fun, the action, the humor, all of it was just congealed into such a beautiful, wonderful, fun package time at the movies. It's just a real special film for me. So I don't know.
I mean, dude, I agree with you in the sense that, I mean, it really depends. What is your mindset going to be when you leave the theater after seeing both of those movies?
Yeah.
I mean, there's such different experiences that I don't even think I would even, like, aside from the fact that there are superheroes in them, they're so profoundly different that how could you even...
Yeah, it's tough. But there again, for now, I'll very, very by a razor thin margin say Shang-Chi. But again, ask me again in 6 months, I may have a different answer. All right, what's next?
From Unbeatable. Happy International Women's Day, guys.
There it is.
My wife said she wants to celebrate it Deadpool style, whatever
Nope.
that means.
Oh!
All right, well, catch you
Don't
on the
knock
flippity
it till
flip.
you tried it.
Why do you have to sit up for that one, Rob? Why do you have to sit up like?
I didn't set that up. I just answered the question.
Watch Deadpool, my friend. Watch Deadpool. All right.
Just Manscaped beforehand.
Manscaped. All right, what's next?
Ben Rayner. Talking about Venom and No Way Home, we don't know how long Eddie was in the MCU. No way to tell how long end of Venom 2 to end of No Way Home, right?
Look, again, there's nothing definitive, but it seems clear he showed up at the bar, had some drinks, tried to figure out what was going on from the bartender. Again, the bartender should have been Michael Pena, explaining the MCU to him, but still.
That would have been the greatest thing ever.
That would have been amazing. And then, so it appears he was not there long. He was there a pretty short period of time. It appears, but who knows? Maybe they'll tell us something different another time, Ben. All right, thanks for sending that in, Ben. What's next?
Owl Father. I wonder if they're going to do Greek or Norse God of War.
Again, I think you take liberties, whatever, but I mean, where this thing really becomes special as a story is when he's got his son.
Yeah.
You know, I already saw some people in live chat saying, no, you got to start from the beginning of God of War. No, you don't. You absolutely do not. Where it becomes really special is once the son is involved and stuff like that. And I think you got to start there. But that doesn't mean you have to follow the actual story that they did in that version of the game. You could start with Greek mythology. Because once again, in this God of War game, it does get into the Norse mythology more. Hence, that's why they're going into God of War Ragnarok. Ragnarok. So it'll be interesting to see which way. I say you start with this story, but maybe start with the Greek gods. That seems to make sense.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
me.
although I do like, his origin and becoming.
Yeah, you can flashback that.
Yeah. But I love that journey because then you could build up to when his son comes in and you've got, if you're going to make a series, I'm just thinking, how would you do a 4 season long, 5 season long, and you've kind of got it all laid out in an interesting way.
But I think you got to still lead off from a position of strength. Like this God of War game was a lot of people's first introduction to the God of War series, right? And so I don't think you start off strong. And I think you're at your strongest with the boy. And there's a lot of story to tell once you start with the boy, especially if you know the ending of God of War. If you know the ending of the God of War game, particularly things surrounding the son, there's a lot of places to go after that. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. All right, what's next?
From Dante Serecchia. Hey, John, I went to go see the Batman for a 3rd time today after work at 3 p.m., but not sure I'll be home before my wife gets off and finds out I went, because these damn movies start so effing late. Pray for me. Bring on the filthy.
And after all the trailers and everything, you're talking about 3.5 hours, with driving to the theater and back. You're talking 4+ hours. I mean, it's a big commitment, Dante. It is a big commitment.
Especially if your wife doesn't know. I mean, you can have an affair with your secretary in a shorter amount of time.
You could get to Vegas
Poor
too.
secretary.
You
during
can
the
get to Vegas from our house.
Yeah.
From our house, you can get to Vegas and have a bite to eat in that time that you get there. All right, what's next?
CMG2491 again. On a brighter note, I'll be seeing The Batman for a third time this afternoon.
Nice.
Also, like you, I don't like fan casting, but one fan cast that
I got on screen there.
actually stuck with me was Mads Mikkelsen as Mr. Freeze. He'll kill it as the coldest villain ever. Literally.
Again, what Mr. Freeze? The Mr. Freeze you have in your head.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I don't do fan casting, because we don't see the script. We don't know what their approach to him is going to be in the script. And it's possible that if we read the script to it, that, this script that does not exist, that Matt Reeves might write sometime and go, oh my God, Mads Mikkelsen would be the worst casting for that. That he does totally. So it all depends. That's why I don't do fan casting. What's that? Oh, was that my Google thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, if I was going to bring in Mads Mikkelsen in a Batman movie, I'd want him to play Ra's al Ghul
Yeah.
and have Talia there as well.
Or Hugo Strange.
Or he'd be a great
Oh, he'd be
Hugo
a great
Strange.
Hugo Strange.
Vandal Savage.
Oh, he'd be a great Vandal
Savage. What would they
Great
do?
Randall
Yeah,
Savage.
he would be. I mean,
Look, when you get an actor of that caliber, when you get actors on that caliber of Mads Mikkelsen, you can think of 100 different roles that it would be awesome for, because they just bring the talent. All right, what's next?
From Film Code, excuse me. The Dollmaker for Batman sequel villain. I mean, you could make that really creepy if you're
Yeah,
going with the
bit
grounded serial
obscure.
killer kind of stuff.
Yeah, bit obscure though. All right, what's next?
John Redcorn. Snyder fans are now demanding WB reboot the DCEU through the Battinson universe. God, I effing hope that doesn't happen. That would be horrible.
can you see Momoa's Aquaman interacting with Pattinson's
No.
Batman?
No.
No.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
Matt Reeves has made this universe in a very specific way that I do not believe there is room, nor should they have characters like Aquaman or the Flash or whatever in it. Leave it alone.
this is like a Batman Elseworlds tale. It's unto like the Nolan movies. They were
Yeah.
unto themselves. There are no superheroes in the Bat universe as
No,
depicted.
it doesn't work.
In this.
Now, again, we talked about yesterday, you can stretch some limits to some things, like maybe a Mr. Freeze if done a certain way, if you ground them a certain way, but Matt Reeves has zero interest in having that type of fantastical stuff in there. So, yeah.
I mean, if you had this, you could just have Batman call up Aquaman and go, "Yo, can you come fix the seawalls, man? We got to pump this city out."
Could you stop fucking a fish for like 5 seconds and do something, man?
Fuck you, Barry. All right. Okay, what's next?
From Cody Hunt. What if Predator got abandoned on Earth without its weaponry and it's being hunted by the Native Americans? Hence the title Prey.
Ooh.
I like that idea.
I like that idea too. A crash landed, injured. You know what? Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. I don't think
good.
that's what they're doing.
No.
But if they do, that's a great approach.
But I'm supposed to feel bad for a predator then.
Maybe.
Huh.
Remember, we've had heroic predators.
That's true.
We've, hey, they're just here for
They
some fun.
have jobs and they watch TV apparently.
That's right.
They're just here for some fun. They're just here for relaxation from their regular 9-to-5s on their home world, going out on safari, hunt some humans.
Yeah,
Right?
they're the salt of the earth. Those
That's
predators.
fair.
All right, what's next?
Comic Nicer again. Also, as I said before, thank God for AMC Movie Pass or else I'd be broke AF.
I mean, listen, again, I've said for a long time, AMC A-List is the best thing to ever happen to film fans. I really do believe that. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to film fans. That and things like Regal Unlimited and things like that as well, but absolutely. All right, what's next?
All right, from Dante again. All right, guys, that'll do it for now. Thanks for a lot for being here. My name is John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.
Papa Iger. Da, da, da. Oh, I miss Big Papa Iger so much. All right, what's next?
Max Papano. Hey, John and Co. So I showed my girlfriend The Last Samurai this weekend.
Nice.
She really enjoyed it, and I forgot how good it was. What do you guys think?
I love The Last Samurai. I think the movie's great. The one, especially like when he's, the whole thing about the armor that was her dead husband's armor, and the whole idea of there's so much emotional resonance in this film. I wasn't really big on the very ending. of the movie, to be honest with you. I'm not
The
talking about the battle
charge?
scene. I'm talking about
Okay.
after that, like the very, very ending. Like when the audience with the new young boy emperor and all that. I wasn't really big on the end. The final battle sequence is great, but overall, I really like this film a lot. I know you got some good hot toys of it too.
Dude, it's a third party figure. I think it's Pop Toys. Dude, my Nathan Ogren hot toy of Tom Cruise, it's not a hot toy, it's a third party figure, is awesome. They make some awesome figures from that movie.
They absolutely
All
do.
metal armor. Ooh, yeah.
All right, what's next?
Andy Newton, Mando. Man, I love walking to work. Batman. I know, right?
I
don't know what that's a reference
what
to.
I have no idea what the reference is. Okay, anyway,
Sorry,
sorry.
Andy.
Next
Did
up.
Mando say, I love walking to work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess Batman, I don't know, he walks out of the shadows, they walk together.
I have no idea. All right, what's next?
CMG2491 again actually struck me with me was Mads Mikkelsen as Mr. Freeze. He'd killed us the coldest villain ever, literally.
Oh, sure.
we
That
did
was
one
part 2
already.
of the other one. Right. Okay.
All right. Chance, who sends in an almost $200 super chat just to
What?
be supportive.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Chance, thank you so much, man, for supporting us again
Yeah.
on that level.
It's amazing.
Ray
Very-
really believes you're Chance the Rapper. So
Ray 100% believes you are Chance
Let
the
us-
Rapper.
let us know
Actually,
Chance
Chance
the
It has
the
to be
Rapper.
Chance to Rap.
Has
us
to be
know.
Chance the Rapper. You are single-handedly supporting Rob's hot toy addiction. But no, seriously, thank you so much for supporting us on that level, man. It's because of people like you that we're able to do what we do.
the super chats go straight to Rob.
That's in his contract, Chris.
Yeah, they all come to me.
You should have negotiated harder,
Oh
Chris.
man.
Actually, they don't even go to me. They just go directly to
Go
my
directly to
distributors. So, it fulfills all my orders.
Now, to make it worse, John hands me the cash and says, "Hey, give this to Rob. Also, finish that podcast. Right.
Also,
Yeah, I mean,
it's-
it's
Finish
By the
uploading
way,
that
how
podcast.
we
Right. Here's
roll
the
around
cash to
here,
give Rob."
man.
I mentioned this yesterday, but in light of Chance just supporting the channel like that, we're not going to make a big deal out of it right now, but tomorrow we probably will. Officially at this moment, according to Google Analytics, the John Campea Show YouTube channel right now is sitting at 199.9, literally 199.9 million views, which means today sometime, we'll make it, tomorrow will be official, this channel will have hit 200 million views.
Yay.
And we'll go into this more tomorrow, but considering we hit 100 million views right before the shutdown, right before the pandemic, and we had our big 100 million view party right before the pandemic shut everything down, that we have doubled our views in the pandemic era, literally going in a year stretch where there was no movies. No movies. The only way we do that and that we survived it was because of the unwavering, insane support by our community. And again, we will make a bigger deal of this tomorrow, but I just wanted to put that on your radar, guys, that we're at 199.9 million. We'll easily cross the last 100,000 views today. And tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more. But in light of Chance's support there, I just want to say thank you to Chance for supporting, and thank you to all of you guys for supporting. Again, I'll just repeat all this again tomorrow, but wanted to throw that out there.
Was it really 2 years between Ismail's cookies?
Yeah.
We got 2 years.
That's why the pandemic felt so friggin' long.
That's true, man.
I had no delicious baked goods. I couldn't make them
those
myself. I'm
cookies. They're-
useless.
By the way, he gave us a lot, and they're almost gone. Just want to
Oh
point that
yeah,
out.
I think they are gone.
Are yours still hidden?
No.
I don't know where my cookies are,
Mine were
'cause
not
I was
in
like,
the back of your car.
Mine is still, yours is still in my car.
I saw the green bag that he handed me, and the bag was empty. I'm like,
I'm trying to be real good and just break off little pieces of a cookie at a time, and then be like, "This is all I'll have."
but those
All
are.
right.
I mean, those are
Oh,
some good
so
cookies.
good.
What's
man.
next?
Bama Ham Yum. I love that name so much.
Ham yum.
It's so funny to me. I love watching you guys live on my days off.
Oh, thanks so much, man. It's great having you here. Thanks for that. And thanks for giving us that name. All right, what's next?
Medicated movie reviews. Just have to send in a tip for shouting out my favorite show of all time, Fringe, the other day. What were you guys' thoughts on the show?
I love the show. I thought it, to be honest, I thought it fell off in its latter seasons, but overall I loved it. And I keep forgetting the name of the Steward of Gondor, Denethor, the actor's name, John. Help me out, guys.
Why am I doing? Why am
Guys in the live chat, help us out. What's
John
the
Noble.
Noble.
Yes.
John Noble. This dude, we were talking about Jeremy Irons' voices. This dude has such a voice.
He was great in Fringe.
Oh, I loved him in that. I mean, I just love him in just about anything he does. Anyway, all right, what's next?
Soothius. In case it went over anyone's head, the Agathon I referred to yesterday is a dragon and a main character in a novel written by John Campea.
I was going to say, I'll let people who know would know, but yes, for those who may not know, let me see if I can find.
So are you telling me it was Agathon all the time?
Sorry. 1 second.
Sorry.
It was
3 seconds, but I got it.
It was Agathon all along. Let me see if I can. Oh, you know what? I'm going to pull this one. This is the one I'm going to put up.
Yeah.
For those of you
baby.
who don't know, The Pride is. I wrote a novel. And there's our guy. There's John Schnepp with my book, The Pride. And I wrote a novel. It took me 5 years from when I first came up with the idea, and I worked on it for 5 years before I finally put it out. And it was my first time ever taking a crack at it. I'm personally very proud of the story myself. But yes, Agathon is a key central character in the movie or in the book, and I'm hoping to actually turn it. I'm thinking about, if I ever get some time, finally doing an audio version of it. I will not read it. I will probably hire a voice actor. Maybe I can get Chris to do. Do you ever do narration on novels?
I've done 2 books. I just don't edit them.
Right, I would probably edit it myself,
that's so
but
nice,
at some point I'm going to have
both.
to do that and get an audio version of it together. But anyway, yes, thank you so much for that shout out. Actually, there's another good one. So I hired this artist. Here's some initial concept art. I love the final thing he did, but the initial concept art. There's some initial concept art, but I like the final version of it, to be honest with you. All right, anyway, what's next? From
Joel, John, it unfortunately happened. It's been confirmed that Doctor Strange 2 has been delayed to July. Because May is gone.
Yeah, it's a Spider-Man joke. Get it? All right, what's next?
Boy.
Ryan Greger. Hi, almost every film fan went to see The Batman last week, but I watched West Side Story remake and Fast 9.
Nice.
West Side Story is really good except for the ending, and I liked Fast 9.
Ooh, I love the ending of West Side Story.
Yeah, it's.
What do you want the ending to be?
Yeah, man.
How should it end?
I'm gonna rewrite Shakespeare.
And Fast 9. Hey, listen, dude. This is why film is subjective. You watched Fast 9 and you had a good time and you enjoyed it, and we celebrate that. I hated that movie, but I'm glad that you liked it, my friend. All right, what's next?
Elliot Cecil. John just watched Swiss Army Man. It was wonderful.
It is such
So
a
good.
love it.
weird movie.
It's so fun.
It is such a weird movie. So good. Daniel Radcliffe.
He's so great.
Kudos for him for taking on that
For
role.
even doing that
Yeah.
role. I mean, it's a crazy kind of movie. All right, what's next?
Cody Hunt. The Batman was only said twice in the film. Once by Alfred, he wrote to the Batman, and once by Batman. This might be the end of the Batman.
Right, but his, when you see on the news too, like he is referenced as the Batman. When the news clips come up and all that kind of stuff, it says the Batman. But you're right. They even noticed that only the name was only said a couple of times. That's actually pretty cool. All right, what's next?
Nikita Monahan. John, have you ever seen the trailer for the new HBO Max show Minx with Jake Johnson and Ophelia Lovibond?
I have not.
It looks so good.
It looks great. I auditioned for the show and I am
You did?
devastated that I didn't get on this season. It looks so fun. The scripts are so
what's the
smart.
basic idea?
So it's a feminist who is trying to launch a feminist magazine. And
I remember Aaron talking about this like 2 years ago when they first announced it. She was all like, it's an erotic magazine that was targeted at women.
and Jake Johnson's character comes in. He's like, "Hey, I like your idea, but what if we sell it this way?"
Yeah.
And it becomes this magazine with hot guys in it, basically. And it's kind of this woman trying to still get her ideals out, like how, no, read Playboy for the articles, kind of that idea, and how she's trying to kind of contend with these ideologies that she's facing.
I have not seen it, but I've been very curious about this show for a
Between
long
that
time.
and the new Lakers series, HBO
Winning
Max.
time. I gotta
Yeah.
see that. HBO always kills
I
it.
think it dropped the first episode, didn't
Winning time?
Did it?
it? Yeah, I
they
think
did.
Oh, okay.
They did.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Dude,
today.
I gotta watch. I watched 2 episodes of a show called, I think it's called Suspicion, on Apple Plus.
No, separate.
With Uma Thurman?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to
I
start
watched
that.
2 episodes. It's really intriguing. I'm like, I'm in.
Okay.
There's so
All
much
right.
good TV out there right now.
know.
All right, what's next?
Blake62. I never really know how much I actually liked a movie until days later and how much I think about it. I find myself thinking about the Batman a lot.
Dude, me too. Ann and I were actually, the other day, we realized we've been talking about the Batman all day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those movies that's actually a really good gauge for it, Blake. That's well pointed out, man. All right, what's next?
Ron W357. Hey, John and crew. The merger of Discovery is right around the corner.
Yep.
I had a question about the contracts. Will Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich be fired as soon as the merger goes through? Thanks.
Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich, I don't know. I know Kalara's gone. I know the big boss at Warner Brothers is gone. He'll be gone immediately. It'll be up to whatever the new boss wants to do. Personally, I hope they keep Hamada. I think he's done a good job, and honestly, I think they need to give him. Remember we were talking yesterday. One of the big problems in a lot of corporations or any team structure is when you give responsibility to somebody, but you don't give them authority. And I think that's been the story of Walter Hamada. They've given him the responsibility to do a lot, but not the authority to really execute it. And maybe Zaslav will be like, here you go. Now you can run with it. Or he's going to want to sweep house and put his own team in place. Either is perfectly acceptable. So I don't know what's going to happen with either of them. We'll have to wait and see. All right, what's next?
Anish. If American icons...
Oh, he sends like a $20 super chat. Thank you, Anish.
Yeah. If American icons such as Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man can be played by British actors, why can't an American play James Bond? I'm all about equal opportunity. Would love to see Joaquin Phoenix as James Bond.
There's a little bit of a difference. First of all, Superman is not American. I mean, I hate to, I know people don't like to think of it like that, but you got to get that in your head. Superman is not American. He's an illegal alien. And if you really want to get to its core, he's Canadian. He was created by a Canadian. I'm just say that, but just put that out there. That's what I'm saying. But like the core thing about Batman is not his nationality. That's not a core thing about his character. With James Bond, that character is a British iconic figure. And am I against the idea of an American playing that role? I'm not against it, but you have to have a very compelling reason why, because being British and English is so core and essential, and it's such an iconic and a beloved nationwide identifiable character to the people in the UK. And there's not a lot of those in our fiction today. There's not many of those. There's very, very few of them. You're going to be hard pressed to cast somebody who's not British to play that role. You're just going to be hard pressed for it. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, it's been hard enough trying to have a conversation about diversifying the role, because British doesn't mean white.
Yeah, no, not at all. Being
so,
white is not a key essential part of who James Bond is.
Exactly.
Being British is.
Absolutely. He works for British intelligence, so I think that's a very key part in it. But if you're going to have a conversation about switching this up, I mean, look at the initial argument that's happening. It's not going to go to an American, and it's not going to go to Joaquin Phoenix.
No.
Yeah,
No.
no.
Joaquin Phoenix would not make a good...
No.
I mean, great
actor.
Ex-actor in X roles. Lawrence is a very talented actor. Joaquin Phoenix is one of the best, but I just don't see that as a fit. But I know, Rob, you're the biggest Bond fan here. What do you think about this discussion?
Look, I'm a Bond purist. Bond was a character that was written to be a specific way. Ian Fleming wrote Bond to be that way. And yeah, he's a British icon. And I don't think that there's a reason why you need to cast an American. Americans get to be CIA officers.
Yeah.
MI6 is British.
Didn't he base him off of Christopher Lee, too? Is that true?
Well, Christopher Lee was in British intelligence
Yeah.
during and I think that they knew one another.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was,
Freaking
and you know what? What's wrong with? I think every country should have their icons. They should be proud of people.
By the way, I'm seeing some debate break out in the live chat saying Superman is American. Understand, Superman's not even a human being. You know that, right? He's not even one of our species.
Yeah.
He's not even a human. He is an alien entity. So, yeah. Anyway, did he grow up in America? Yes. Does he stand for the beliefs of the red, white, and blue? Absolutely.
Does
But
he have immigration papers?
No, he does not.
I mean, that's what I really want to know. Is he a naturalized citizen?
Show me his birth certificate.
And if he did get a birth certificate, it's forged because I'll bet it says Clark Kent on it, and that's not who he really is.
And again, he's not even a human. You might as well say that moose is an American. Do you hand out citizenship to moose? I don't think so. What's the plural of moose? Mooses? Meese?
Moose. It's still
Meeson?
moose.
A murder of mooses?
Is it a murder of mooses? A gaggle of moose? I don't know what it is. All right, what's next?
From Daryl Bess Wadley. I just found out Zoe Kravitz was Catwoman in Lego Batman. Is she the first actress to play the role in 2 different iterations?
She was not the voice. Zoe Kravitz was not the voice of Catwoman in Lego Batman. I thought that was. Oh no! I thought it was Rosario Dawson, but Rosario Dawson.
She was Barbara.
Was Barbara. Oh, was Zoe Kravitz the voice of? I'd have to. Ray, can you look that up for us while we do that? Okay, let's keep moving on while we're doing that. That's a good thing to point out. All right, what's next?
Stephen Wolf. Hey guys, you must listen to the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast with Matt Reeves. The commentary he gives on film is absolutely incredible. Thanks.
You know, that was referenced in the report we were reading a little bit earlier about that too. And I've never listened to the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, but I've always heard very, very good things about it. I'll probably
It
have
used
to
to
start
be
listening.
only about the Flash.
Oh, really?
No.
No, okay.
She is.
And she is the
She's
voice.
Catwoman.
All right, I didn't know that. That's a really cool thing to know. It's a neat connection. All right, what's next?
Blake62. How much of a historical asterisk do we have to give the Suicide Squad box office, given the HBO Max release and release at the height of Delta?
Well, I mean, look, every movie that came out in the last 2 years has to have some form of an asterisk beside it. I mean, that's just a blanket
You
thing.
get 2 if you were Warner Brothers in 2021.
Exactly. You get the double asterisk
Yeah.
of that because, I mean, that was such an unfair thing. How'd that work out for you, Warner Brothers, by the way? Well done, Kalar. Anyway, but yes. Yeah, first of all, every movie that's come out in the last little while has to have an asterisk. Some of them 2 or 3. I mean, so yeah. But again, even as much as I love James Gunn's Suicide Squad, I love this movie. Even when compared to other films that came out
Yeah.
in the same, it still was a very disappointing result. I mean, as much as I love it, there's no taking away from it. It flopped. So, but yes, many asterisks have to be beside its name. All right, what's next?
Sebastian Gonzalez. Loved how Batman was like the Arkham games. Drops you right into the story as one clue leads to the other and the case unravels from the single thread.
Again, like Matt Reeves said, there are many influences in the Batman that they drew from the different source materials. Hush, Long Halloween, No Man's Land, Year One,
Ego.
the Arkham games. Absolutely. And it's really cool that there are moments you can pick out specific little things that are like that. All right, what's next?
Seconds from Disaster. Hi, John and crew. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate how organized your show is and how easy it is to navigate the channel. Very well put together.
Oh, well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. You know what? I'll tell you why I really appreciate that. With all legitimacy here, I actually do work very hard to try to make the viewer experience of the channel and of our show as easy and enjoyable as possible. You know, I work very hard on maintaining the structure. I send out a full, not just random show notes. I send out every day a full rundown of what the graphics are, what our quotes are from the different sources, when certain things happen, we try to make it as organized and structured for our audience as possible, as much as possible. And it makes me feel really good that you recognize that. So thank you for that, dude. I appreciate that very much.
But we have homework.
Yes, it does mean I give everybody here homework, especially Ray. Nobody has more
Ray
homework
gets
in
the
this
most
than Ray.
homework.
Ray has a lot of work to do on stuff. All right, what's next?
Adrian Bonds. Good morning, gang. Have you heard the EP from Dave Franco's character from the after party? It's hilarious and fire.
I'll tell you what, I really did enjoy After Party.
I loved it so much. Did you see who the killer,
Yes.
Same.
No.
Oh, no, I'm not going to say who it is.
I'm not gonna
That's
say
the end of it.
who
But yeah.
is. I will say it surprised me.
Oh, okay. See, I was like, I think it's them.
But-
And Logan was like, I don't know. And then by towards the end, he was like, oh my God, I think you're right. And then it happened.
And every episode kind of took on its own personality.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
First time I have loved Tiffany Haddish in something besides Girls Trip.
She's great.
She's so
Wonderful
phenomenal.
in this series. So good.
Well, and supposedly we're getting a second too that's going to keep her as the detective on it, kind of going Knives Out.
I was going to say, so it's like totally a Knives Out thing.
I really liked her in the card counter. with
Okay,
Oscar
you know what?
Isaac.
She was
She
surprising
was
in
quite
that.
good.
She was really
quite
good.
in that too. Yeah, but I mean, not like this. I mean,
No.
she's so owned
Well,
in
she's
this.
relishing this. She's having so much fun.
All right, what's next?
From Kevin Carroll, I think the Batman over Dark Knight for me.
And Kevin, of course, gave us these great our hyper bows as well as our Hashem. And thank you for that, Kevin. And listen, I'm close. We're going to be talking about the Dark Knight today, though, on Movie Club. So make sure you guys join us for Movie Club a little bit later.
And Kevin, I want to come see you.
I want to come see the
your
store.
shop.
I want to come. I want that. You know what I want?
All right, what's next?
From Aaron P. So you know.
I know. I'm not going to tell anyone what I'm talking about.
Aaron P. Do you see Ron Perlman playing Kratos?
Zero chance. There's no way.
He won't play Hellboy. Why would he be God of War?
Isn't he like in his 70s
He's
now?
now in his 70s. Also, okay, Google. How old is Ron Perlman?
Ron Perlman is 71 years old.
He's 71 years old now. He does not carry that kind of a frame. No. If you were doing an animated movie, I mean, first, why wouldn't you just get Christopher Judge? But if you were doing an animated movie, I could totally hear Ron Perlman's voice as the voice of Kratos. But no, zero chance that he plays.
Can you?
I can. I love his voice. He's Clay. He'll always be Clay to me. All right, what's next?
Another one from Kevin Cow. Can't wait for these HBO Max shows.
They are the gold standard. HBO Max is the gold standard when it comes to TV shows. All right, what's next?
CMG 2491 again. When those cheap sons of bitches finally sponsor the John Campea Show, your promo code has to be Campea SOB. It's only right after all. Ha ha.
No, not Campea SOB. That no. Maybe just cheap SOBs. Maybe that'll be the promo code at that point. All right, what's next?
Brian's Game Talk. Unfortunate that Batman only made $128 million over the weekend. That only covers the Penguin makeup and prosthetics.
Well, and technically it made $134 million opening weekend, which means it actually made more than Deadpool did on its opening weekend. Considering all the hurdles it had in front of it, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, my God. I said it before, I'll say it again. Looking at a picture of the Penguin, you'd never know it was Colin Farrell.
Nope.
Watching the movie, you would still never know it was Colin Farrell. And that's a testimony to, yes, the makeup, but also to Colin Farrell himself. Like, it's absolutely, I cannot wait to see this show. All right, what's next?
John Redcorn again. Triple H is Kratos.
Hey,
JK.
listen, physically, appearance-wise, sure. I need somebody who can act. I mean, granted, Dave Bautista isn't the world's greatest thespian, but he's a serviceable
training.
actor, and he brings that physicality too. So I think that would
Have
be
you seen The Chaperone with Triple H?
no.
Okay, good.
I saw something with Triple. I saw besides Blade 3, in which he was atrocious in that. And by the way, Triple H is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. He's in my top 3 favorite wrestlers of all time. But a great thespian, he was not. All right, what's next?
Just Plain Steve, who sends in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Just Plain Steve.
Someone on Mailbag said, just go to Regal or Cinemark due to the AMC price hike for Batman. Well, both of those theaters did the same thing. They just kept quiet about it. Deadline did an article on it. The future is here.
See, this is what I was telling you. When one of the big things I said is because Adam Aaron and AMC, they are the world's largest exhibitor. What they do, everyone else will follow. And that's why I said, because I mentioned this earlier, first time we talked about the story, it's like, that's one of the big concerns is that if they do it, everybody's going to do it. And they're doing it. And it's been experimented with, but when AMC then comes out and does it, that means it's going to become an industry standard, which means now, instead of just AMC killing the movie-going industry, now everybody's going to be killing the movie-going industry. So well done, guys. You're killing your own industry. Way to go. Fantastic. You really...
I like claps.
You know, you came out of the devil's butthole and you were sent to this world to wreak destruction and destroy one of our great institutions, the movie-going experience. And well done, you morons. You're doing it. All right, what's next?
Respectfully.
Respectfully, of course.
Mr. Patlow, after Joker and the Batman, do you think there could or should be a darker version of a standalone Superman film coming? If so, with your man Henry Cavill.
Nope. I think, listen, first of all, a lot of people complain that Man of Steel was too dark. But to me, it was a wonderful interpretation of taking that character and dropping him into today's context. And what would that be like? What would it be for a kid who thought he was an Earthling and finding out he's an alien being, then finding out these powers and finding out what his actual heritage is and trying to figure out where's his place in this world and all this kind of stuff. And his surrogate father dies. And I thought it was a wonderful interpretation of it, but I think that's as dark as you go. I don't think you go any darker. By the way, somebody pointed this out to me on Twitter. Completely agree. You know, one of the great things about the Batman that everybody's cheering, including us, is, you know what's so awesome about this? Matt Reeves took a guy who's just getting started as Batman, who's only been Batman going into a second year of being Batman. So he ain't perfect. He makes mistakes along the way and he has some weaknesses. Oh man, that's so great. But Superman, who's been Superman for a day, people go, oh, wow, well, why didn't he do this and this and this? And he's been Superman for a day. With Batman, and oh, it's so great they show that he's only been in less than 2 years. Oh, that's so good. He was Superman for a day when the weight of the world and the fate of the world was thrown on his shoulders, and he's having to fight alien soldiers who were military trained from birth, way better at combat than him, and all this kind of stuff. Well, how come Superman didn't stop any collateral destruction? Because he's fighting fucking General Zod.
He did also save the world.
And he saved
from extinction.
billions of lives.
Yeah.
Oh, but you shouldn't have let them knock that building down.
That was a good building.
It was a great building, yes.
By the way, John, you know, if I was in charge of Warner Brothers, I would make a Superman for all seasons. If you've ever read.
Oh, so good.
Wouldn't that be? And you do it. It would be called Superman for all seasons, and you do it and you break it up, and it would start with cards that said spring, summer, winter, fall, and you just do it. Come on, how great would that be? If you need a great director, and get Henry Cavill to play Superman.
All right, what's next?
You're welcome.
Respectfully.
Gary Meyer, I know you've all talked about this in the past, but I would love for you to have special guests on the show occasionally. Any future plans for that?
Nope. Not really.
Come on, man, aren't I enough?
Yeah.
I mean, there's also a big complication. The complication is that I do not live in LA anymore. And so if we're going to have a special guest on, that means they got to drive, no, great, an hour, whatever. But it means they got to drive out here an hour. But if I do, that means one of our regulars can't be on the show. I mean, right now we have Erin is a regular rotating person and she's on once a week. But even when we do that, that means Ray can't be on the show. Or Chris has her car breakdown and she,
My
like,
car
whatever.
tries to murder me.
But I mean, I could see us moving forward having special guests for other types of videos, but probably not on the John Campea Show per se, because I don't. Now, I can also see me bringing in a special guest for like a 5-minute segment over Skype, but I do not want to do regular shows with a full 2-hour show with a guest on Skype. To me, it takes the energy out of it. It loses its dynamic and all that kind of stuff. But for other types of videos we do, that could be on the thing. Like maybe having a guest join us sometime for a movie club. That could work at some point. But for the John Campea Show, I think I'm going to, for the most part, keep it pretty regular. All right, what's next?
Kelsey Schumacher, who sends in an almost $20 super chat.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Just showing some support. I love you guys and keep up the good work. Bring on the filthy. Ordering my John Campea hoodie this week.
Ooh. Oh, and by the way, I don't know exactly when, hopefully within the week, we are going to have a new piece of merch.
Ooh.
And that new piece of merch, some of you saw that I put this up on my social media, but we had an artist redo the classic patch. And now it is the Sons of Filthy, TJCS online original with my little rebel hat on and stuff like that. We have reconstituted and updated the patch.
I'll wear that.
I am definitely getting some hoodies and shirts.
You just look so skinny in this, though.
Yeah, maybe I was had a little bit of a stomach flu in that one. And we're gonna make stickers for these two and literal patches. We'll probably get some real patches made too, though. So keep your eyes open for that. That'll be getting up there. Some iconic reaction saying get it as a tattoo. If I were to ever get a tattoo, which I'm not cool enough to pull off tattoos, but if I were ever to get a tattoo, that's the tattoo I'm getting. I'm getting that one on me somewhere. All right, what's next?
Harv's K. First episode of Winning Time was very entertaining with a great cast. John C. Reilly is perfect as Jerry Buss, but Jason Clarke is Jerry West.
Again, I am dying to see that. I had no interest until the trailer dropped, and then I'm like, oh yeah. This looks great.
So good.
Can't wait to watch. I know Anne's very excited about watching it too. Thanks for the update on that, Harps K. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher, Based on yesterday's conversation, I came up with ways you can ground several Batman villains. Mr. Freeze. I like Rob's idea of a serial killer freezing bodies, experimenting on how to revive his wife with a deadly blood disease.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what we talked about yesterday. And again, there will be ways to take some traditional villains and ground them. There's some you can't. Like Killer Croc, well, that's just the nickname of a guy who was a gang leader. Then it's not really Killer Croc. Clayface.
Yeah.
He really is. I mean, I love Clayface and Harley Quinn. But, I mean, you just you can't.
Killer Croc can work, because I saw this special a long time ago about these reptile people that put the metal balls in their eyes. Have you seen them? And then they get their like tongue like
Yeah.
yeah. Like if he's really big and he's like violent,
but he's
that
not
would work
actually,
for me.
But
that
he's
would
not,
work.
Yeah, but I think people would be upset. I think people would be upset if they because that takes away from what the character is really. But
I want a walking, talking crocodile. Can you make that realistic for me?
Oh,
Yes.
'Cause that's what I want to see.
and then cross it over with Jurassic Park. All right, what's next?
Diego Sanchez. Are there any books that you love that you'd like to see turned into movies or a TV show? Or if they already have live action adaptations, you think they're probably due for another take?
Listen, what I've been asked that question many times over the years in my career, and I've always said the same one, which is why during that Disney investor call day a couple of years ago, I lost my shit. Shogun. Whenever anybody's asked me over the past 15 years of me doing this, what's the book? Shogun. Let me stop you right there.
See,
Shogun.
That's
And now they're doing it on FX.
that miniseries is one of my favorite things I've ever watched.
And the book is wonderful.
The book is wonderful, but that first, you can get it on Blu-ray. You can get the original miniseries, and it is still one of the greatest things that's ever been put on TV.
If you, what about you, Rob? You're a heavy
I actually
book
have
reader.
three. I have three things that I would love to see adapted. One is John Christopher's Tripods books. It was done by the BBC, but they never finished it. The White Mountains, the City of Golden Lead, the Pool of Fire. That was my Harry Potter when I was a kid. It's about a conquered Earth that's being terraformed underneath what's left of humanity by these interesting aliens. A book that Ridley Scott's company owns called The Last Werewolf, which is part of a trilogy, but it wasn't when I first read it, and I loved it. And Dan Simmons' Hyperion Cantos that are now being made. Those are the three things.
Too.
What's that?
I was going to say Hyperion too.
Yeah, I love Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion. They were written as one book, but the publisher made Dan Simmons split it into two.
And that's just a tricky one to do too. Because the other one that I would really like, it's my favorite book of all time, is Stranger in a Strange Land. But I don't know how you do it well.
I grok you now.
My water, brother.
All right, what's next?
I'm all emotional now. Nikita Mahanahan. Scorsese, David O. Russell, Damien Chazelle, two-time award-winning Mexican director Alejandro Inarritu, Florian Zeller from The Father, Noah Baumbach, all of these films out this year. Batman doesn't have a shot at the top categories.
Bullshit. We've all seen questionable, okay to good but not great things from all of them. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
It's a pretty good list, though, dude.
I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful list, which shows like we got great stuff coming. But like when you have even Variety magazine is writing about the Oscar chances of the Batman already. This movie is being taken very seriously by people in the industry, extremely seriously. And hey, listen, Scorsese's made amazing films, and he's made some okay films. I mean, Spielberg made Terminal. Ugh.
Look what you did to your poor brother-in-law. That is familial abuse right there live on the internet.
Oh, no.
No.
I mean, but look, not every Steven Spielberg outing has been Schindler's List. I mean, just because they have things, it's way too much to say, well, because they're making films, there's no chance. That's not true. That's really, we've seen year after year after year, that's not necessarily true. Tom Hanks is in a movie this year. There's not a room in the, well, Tom Hanks didn't get a Best Actor nomination that year, right?
Speaking of Tom Hanks, I think he had the rights to Stranger in a Strange Land. At one point, he was going to play with Valentine Michael Smith.
Him and his wife's name. What's his wife's name again?
Rita
Rita
Wilson.
Like they together started scooping up rights to things. Actually, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, one of the most like successful budget to box office films of all time.
That was Playtone.
That was them doing that. They acquired the rights to a lot of stuff. All right, what's next?
The Darman. I don't see how the Batman gets an Oscar nomination unless...
We just did that, right?
Oh no, this is another one.
Oh, this is another one. That's right.
Unless this year in film is weak. The Batman's third act is real rough and inconsistent to me.
Well, the last two words are the key thing there, Darman. To you. To people like Robert Meyer Burnett, it was phenomenal.
It was the fulfillment of the question that Batman asks in the beginning of the movie.
Right. To me, I still like the ending. To me, it was the weaker part of the film, but I still like it. And I get it. Listen, there are going to be some people that hate the beginning of the movie. There are going to be some people who hate the movie altogether. It doesn't have a 100% rating on Rotten Tomato. But I think this is the kind of movie that the industry really likes. And by industry, I also mean Academy members. So I'm not sitting here telling you it's way too early. But if you don't think it has a shot, I don't know. I don't agree with you. I think it definitely has a shot. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number one, because it gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it. Also want to remind you guys that a little bit later today, if I can find it, there it is. A little bit later today at 4 p.m. Los Angeles time, you guys can figure out what that is in your time zone. We have the next meeting of Movie Club. We're getting together today to talk about The Dark Knight. We hope you guys will come and join us for that. All right. I want to thank the people sitting around the room with me, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett, Ray Ora, Chris Carr. My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.